1, 2, and we are fucking live.
Oh, shit.
Yep. That's the smoothest you're going to get from me.
Yeah, we on.
We on. Come on, mate.
All right, yeah.
Do your fucking job.
I'm up, eh?
That's
I'm
the
up.
intro.
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
us.
intro. It took 10 minutes to get to.
No, we're figuring out the levels. Make sure you weren't blowing my eardrums off.
Okay.
We have a guest here, a long time friend. I call him my day one.
Bro, I'm your big brother.
Yeah, he's
When
the
you fuck up, I'll get you out of
the
shit.
guy.
He's the eyes in the fucking, that house.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Like, yeah.
The amount of
The guy I
times times you've called me when something's gone wrong,
He's the guy.
and I'm like, settle down. I'll sort it out.
Mr. Chris Greenwood, my brother.
Welcome.
Introduce yourself, mate. How would you explain
Yeah, I can talk
yourself?
the legs off a chair apparently, but when I got to talk, I don't know what to say. Chris Greenwood. I just did 15 years in a supermax prison for double homicide.
And then you end up chopping someone's head off and you go back to prison?
Oh, hang on, that wasn't me. That was a guy on Joe Rogan, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No, I'm recovering heroin addict since I was 12. And
Damn.
yeah, that
He's
also was
had
me. That
a
was the
rough
last. No, hang on.
childhood.
That was the last girl I was seeing. Yeah. hang
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So hang on. I am Chris Greenwood, 32.
Just a general piece
I don't
of
know.
shit, really.
Yeah, I don't know what you'd call me, man. I've had a weird life.
Well, let's...
I'm not saying that to try and talk it up. I've just
Been through some shit.
I've been through some shit, man, and I've done some shit. Like I have, I've had highs, lows. I've experienced shit that no one will experience in business, in personal life. Some things I wouldn't wish on anyone.
Yep.
But yeah, it's made me who I am today. And it's kind of got me to this point I'm at right now, which is why I'm on the podcast, because I'm about to change careers and completely change things again. And yeah, I mean, if I hadn't have done all that shit, I wouldn't be here. I'd be
somewhere else.
somewhere else, like,
Doing
But-
fuck knows what.
Yeah.
No, I know what I'd be doing. I'd be just in a workshop, like a drop kick doing something, like mechanics.
Fair enough.
Yeah, like
Scarborough
like
Toyota
me.
or something, He knows. He knows.
I knew straight away. I was
He
like,
knows.
Here we go.
Anyway.
Yeah. So we met...
Yeah, I was going to say, how'd you guys meet? That's probably a good one to kick
So
off.
am I going to run this show or what?
No.
I feel like you're going
joint
to. I feel
effort,
like you're going to
brother.
say it, and I'm going to have to say it properly because people always do that. They say stuff, and I feel like people don't say it properly. They.
We met at Jason's workshop.
Who's that?
Yeah, who's that?
Okay.
He knows
There's
who,
a bloke-
and you know who.
Okay.
So we met at Jason's
No.
17.
So I actually met Jason through family friends, and then went to his workshop. Was that the day I crashed that car?
Yeah, that was the
Okay.
day you crashed yesterday.
That was a fun day. So, I took Nissan Sylvia to his workshop to do, I think it was to fix the brakes and to look at a couple of things.
yeah.
And
Because you didn't bed the brakes in. That's
no,
why
no,
you
yeah.
fucking...
So I'll tell the story. Settle down.
Sorry.
Fucking ruined the punchline.
Yeah, he's always done it. Anyway,
I'm a piece of shit.
so what happened was we went to bed the brakes or do brakes, and I met Justin there, and he was jumping around like he was on fucking crack, and he was really hyper, and I was like, "Who is?" He's small back then, and I was like, "Who's this?" Annoying
He's still
fuck?
fucking small now, man.
No, he's not. He's a gorilla now.
Silverback gorilla,
He's
mate.
short, but
I'm a
he's a hairy
fucking
fucking silverback. He's bigger than me now. So,
Yes.
and I used to be on steroids, man. So, actually, I'm still on steroids now. We'll get to that. But anyway, short story long.
Hold up. I think you were working on your 180.
No,
Or
it
you
was a Sylvia. It was a
SO10,
black,
yeah.
matte black
Yeah.
Sylvia that I painted.
And I think Jason, I was helping Jason do his rock cover gaskets on his V8. I think he did one side, I did the other.
Yeah, whatever.
I think.
And
From what
basically,
I
man, my first impression, like Jason said, "Oh, this is my mate." I was like, "This guy's who the fuck is this bloke?" I hated him. I was like, "He's so annoying. I've just met you, and you're so annoying." Fuck, I don't like him.
I get that a lot, eh?
And then and then what happened after that was I left and I went down Main Road near the beach, and this Commodore come up my ass and trying to race me. And then I just took off with the turbo and left him in the dust. And then it happened again. And then it happened at like a third time. And I went to go round a car, overtake. And then for some strange reason, I decided I'm going to pop the clutch. And at like 100 something kilometers an hour, pop the clutch, drift around. And then I went to touch the brakes as I went back in the lane to try and straighten up. And the brakes like locked up. And you see the skid mark go straight into the like side of the road. And all I remember was there was a light pole and there was a bush on the side, like a big fucking shrub thing. And I was just yanked the steering wheel as hard as I could to the left, and I missed the pole by like a metre. And I was just thinking, thank God. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was this limestone fucking boulder.
It was massive.
It was huge, man. The size of a cow. And I just drove straight over it, and the car just went lifted up and like jumped it, and I smashed the sort of the front end all underneath. And then there was a tree branch like through the bit of the window, and then the music stopped, and then I was just sitting there going, what the fuck? And then and the music just started, and I looked to the side, and there's a caravan park, and all these people are running over going, are you okay? You okay? And there's this guy the guy who I overtook had pulled over, and he's just standing there, this 6 foot guy, bald head, and he's just got his arms crossed, and they're like, did you see what happened? And he goes, yeah, I saw it. and then he got in his car and he just fucking left, man, because he was like, he thought I was just a dickhead, which I was. But just shit happens.
Just being young.
And then what I did was they were like, oh, you're right, you're right. And I was like, because obviously the police are being young, I was like, no, I don't want to get in trouble. So I quickly called them, and they all came down, and my cousins came down within like 5 minutes. And it was only probably 500 meters from my house up a hill. So we just got the car quickly going with the intercooler pipe back together a little bit, and it would only run probably like 10 kilometers an hour. And I drove, and then we went up the hill. All of us were like running on the side of the car, pushing the car up this hill in Coogee.
It's a big hill too.
And
man.
and then when I got home, I parked it on the lawn, nose first in the bushes, and my neighbour this woman happened to be out there, and she goes, she's a weirdo. She goes, oh, what'd you do to your car? And I was like, nah, don't worry about it, nothing. It's all good. And I tried to hide it.
Yeah.
So my parents didn't see, because not that they care. Like, I've done a lot of things, so they're not, not a big deal. But
So you don't want to worry him and shit.
yeah, they think it's worse than it is. And then she tells them when they get home. She's like, did you see what he did to his car? And then my mum goes, what the hell?
Of course.
I was like, yeah. And then that story, if you want to connect that story, that car rebuilt by myself in the driveway, just dodged it back up, the chassis and shit.
Yeah.
Decided to drive it to Northam to shear sheep, to help shear sheep on Australia Day. And then when I left in the afternoon, I actually went the back way that no one goes anymore to get back to Perth, and I blew the motor. Because from that event, obviously it's done something.
Yeah.
And I was stuck in the bush. Let's get through that story quickly, because that's a funny one. Right. We got time. Anyway, so I blow the motor. I'm in the bush. No phone reception. No water.
Before fucking smartphones, by the way, people.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Was it?
Yeah, man.
Okay. I don't remember. That happened so quick, so I don't know. Yeah. Basically, no food, no water at all. No phone reception.
Yeah.
I wasn't like bush, but, in Northam in the bush, no one comes on that road. I was there for a good few hours and started to get the sun setting. So I'm like, I needed a shit. So I took a shit, wiped my ass with leaves. And then I was like, what am I going to do? Do I stay with the car like you're supposed to? But then no one was coming. And I thought, it's getting dark. Do I start jogging back to the house that friends lived at? I think I know where it is. It's going to take me all night, but I'll just jog back there. And then I started walking to look for like something. And I come across a house, and I was like, oh, thank God there's a house here. So I walk up their driveway, and I thought, no one looked like they were home. And I thought, oh, well, at least they got a tap. I'll get some water. And as I start walking, looking for a tap around the side of the house, the whole front of the house is there. And as I'm walking around the side of the house, the back of the house is fully demolished.
Oh, fuck.
And I was like, oh, of all the fucking places.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? At least there might be a tap. No tap.
No, yeah.
I don't know. And then managed to get cell reception as I was walking back down the hill. And my dad's like, hello? And I was like, hello? And I was like, he couldn't hear me. And then it cut out and nothing. So I walked back down to my car. And as I was getting to the road, some old man was coming in a ute And he never comes that way, he said. But he seen me and I was like, bro, stop. And he sees me. And the first thing he did was just get out and give me a 5-litre jug of water.
Yeah.
And said, here, drink this. And I just sculled water. And then he took me, I told him where it was and he took me back to the shearing shed and I told him what happened. And then my old boy had to come in with a trailer and tow the car and threw the fucking thing in the bin.
That's fucking lucky though, man.
Yeah, man. I wasn't too stressed because it wasn't like bush. Like I could have got out of it, but it was one of them things that make you go, fuck. Like,
You look at back now and you're like, fuck, that could have gone so much more sideways.
but I always tell people now, like Danzy, if you're going to go on a fucking boat, I don't care if you're just going on a boat for the day. If you're going on a boat,
Tell someone,
or you're
bro.
going, no, don't. If you're going on a boat,
Oh, I don't.
Don't
This
tell
guy
anyone.
just gave me
That fucking side
evils,
eye,
bro.
man.
Just
I was
fucking
like,
kill
hey.
you. Shut the fuck up.
no, because that doesn't do nothing.
Well, at
You
least-
tell someone, and then what? They don't know if you sunk, do they? They don't know for the last 3
Yeah, but
hours.
at least they'll
you've
know
been
the
treading
next day
water.
if you're fucking not there.
Too late by
Yeah,
then, mate.
exactly.
It's like, hey, bro, how's your day out in the boat? No
But
reply.
I know someone who just came back to Perth from the UK, and sad story, he went surfing with his dad in another country, and the boat sank, and they treaded water for ages, and then he actually watched his dad after a while, couldn't hold on any longer, and he watched his dad drown in front of him.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
Fuck that shit.
and he's been living with that for a long time, and yeah, so, but bro, simple thing, get an EPIRB. If you're going to the bush, if you're going fishing in the water, anywhere you're going where it's stranded, get an EPIRB so you just smack that thing and someone come pick you up. Look, we're in the river.
Doesn't that cost money? Or is it like...
No,
it
you
says-
just buy an EPIRB,
Yeah.
and then you press it, and they'll... the WA police pay for it, mate. They're the ones that pay for the boat to come
I was
out
going
and
to
get
say,
you.
because like...
Do you know, there was a guy
I think if you like break your hip or break your leg somewhere and fuck knows where, and they got to like helicopter you, that shit costs money, boy.
Yeah, but I don't know if you have to pay it. There was two guys that got saved, right, that were stranded in the ocean, and a week later, one of them went back out and went missing again. And they didn't find him that time.
There you go.
Fuck.
So, stupidity. But, there was a time in the river. Whose boat was that where we hit a reef? Whose boat was it? No, I'm not just saying that. Whose boat was
It
it?
was Jason's boat.
Oh, okay, whatever. So we hit a reef because we didn't realise the reef was there, and
Even though there's fucking flags to show you, don't go through this bit.
It is what it is. Shit happens, man. And so we actually hit
it
the
was
reef.
so funny.
Motor wasn't working, and we were like, "What are we going to do?" And then,
Do you remember when Kev just got out of the boat?
hang on.
just
So we managed to get hold of the police somehow.
Yeah.
And they came and they stopped ages away and started yelling to us, "We're not coming in there. You got to come to us."
We
And we're
can't
like,
get
"Bro,
in there."
how do we get there?" And they go, "Just walk. You're on a reef." So Kevin gets out with some shoes in the water and he's knee high on this reef and just starts walking, dragging this boat to the police, and then they hooked it up and
the
towed us
water
in.
police, yeah.
One of the times we've had dramas on the boat.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was so many dramas.
Anyway, back to the start. So how we met. That was it, man. I hated
Yeah.
him.
How old were you
Vice
guys?
versa, 17.
And
Yeah.
I don't even know when I started liking you because it wasn't for a while.
It takes a while, yeah.
It took
Vice
a while.
versa.
Do you know when we started liking each other a lot? Was probably after we were in a friends group and we joined friends with some other people, and then one of them dogged me, right? And I think it was on his birthday. We were at his birthday, and he dogged me and was talking shit to everyone about me there. And I knew that was the type of person he was, but he dogged me, and then from that day, I never spoke to him, and he never spoke to me. He knew, I'm pretty sure. Each to their own. And I decided, I said to these guys, like, I'm not coming to hang out with you. If you go on there, and they want to always go with this bloke, I was like, fine. So for a while, I actually wasn't even hanging out with any of them. My cousin, him, Jason, and then Danzy and you, I think, caught him talking shit about them, and they were like, what the fuck? So then they were like, oh, we're out.
Yeah.
And they came to join me, and then Jason decided to go
That way.
stay with them. Even though I think we know they were talking shit about him too. But he stayed with them. So after that, we started getting closer, a lot closer.
I mean, I thought we started becoming good mates when we were all just drifting, driving our Sylvias.
We were good mates.
Yeah.
But like not as close as we are now.
Oh, yeah. We were still mates. But
Like
I mean,
now-
like the way you were saying it there is you didn't like me up until that point. And that happened like,
Well, I never
like
told
3
ya.
or 4 years in. Yeah, that's
nah.
all right. I don't give a fuck. Hey, water over duck's back, bro. I don't give a shit.
It's we get closer, but it's
Because I stopped hanging out with all them when all that shit kicked off. When
don't go into that.
when all that shit kicked off.
There's no point going in that.
No, that's the podcast isn't long enough for that story.
No, just you don't want to talk about it on here.
I'm not going to.
So,
Yeah.
next question.
Nah, so when I remember when we were 17, even 17, 18, we all started going to Freo and shit. You had your little van with your mobile mechanics. Remember that
bro,
shit?
it's ripped skids in that thing.
This guy had
used
his
to rip
fucking
skids.
car details, his
I
phone
did
number,
that
everything.
myself. I got book covering from Officeworks.
Yep.
Cut out the letters that I'd got off the computer, traced them, cut it out, did my own book covering logos on the side of the shitty Mitsubishi Express.
And this guy's ripping skids in the middle of Freo, eh?
Bro,
One peggers.
one peggers, and then I have to open the side door because there's so much smoke.
Oh, that was fucking funny. So yeah, you've had a business ever since we were fucking 18, man.
What happened was, right, so when I started my apprenticeship when I was 15, and I remember the first day I walked into Fremantle Steel, and man, when I walked out of the office into the workshop, all I saw was like the air was red. Disgusting. Next day, you don't see it anymore. But I spent a year there grinding on a grinder steel, and after a year, I said, man, I see third years fabricating beams about a foot long. You know, when am I going to weld? Because I want to be a welder. And I was told I had to be a Boilermaker welder. So they said, oh, mate, you won't weld here. When I went and asked them, oh, the Filipinos are welding. And I was like, well, see you later. I left. And then I went to another place, and then they sort of got low on work, and I was trying to practice my welding. I was good with the owner, real good. He reckons I was like one of the best of his 10 apprentices. But a QA guy told me to sweep the car park once in 40-degree heat, and I told him to fuck off and threw the broom. And I was like, see you later. I suspended my apprenticeship, took some time off, and then I went to a few different places trying to finish it. And then the last place told me to take some time off because this was like when 2008 was happening, I think, and all that shit. I took 4 weeks off, and then they never called me back. And I went back there to say, like, what's going on? When are we going back to work? And the whole shed was stripped. My toolbox was gone, everything.
What the fuck?
The only thing that was left was some steel and like all these like electrical cables and that. So me and someone else went and stripped the joint for steel and electrical cables. And and after that I was just man, I'm done with this shit. I'm over it. So I stopped. And I've done lots of things like got Bobcat ticket. I was a Bobcat driver at Coburn Cement for a little bit. Not long. That was boring. And I can understand why people kill themselves there.
Driving fucking forklifts, age. Oh.
No. Well, a lot of them actually kill themselves because they go home and their wife's cheating on them or whatever, and they go there and jump off the tower.
Fuck.
Guys I used to work with were there, and they'd hear bangs on the roof. And you go out and someone's killed himself again.
That's fucked, eh?
Yeah, a lot of it there. But So I started the business. I was already an apprentice, and on the side, I just put ads up on Gumtree for mobile welding to make extra money.
Yep.
Got the worst jobs. And then I put tearaway strips on a window. And yeah, I did mail drops and all sorts of stuff. Got a little van, was doing that. And then when all that shit happened, I was like, man, I can weld. So I just started going. People were like, you got a ticket? And I was like, yeah. These are people in a backyard, you know, going, you got a ticket? And I'm like, bro, I'm welding some shitty old pipe that's in your shed to hold a sink up in your shed. And you're asking if I've got a ticket. Like, and you're standing there watching me while I'm doing it. That's even more annoying.
Yeah.
You know? So
Fuck your ticket.
I'm like, what? Do you even know what a ticket is? Like, if I showed you?
No, they wouldn't have a clue.
So
You show them your white card.
yeah, so that's how it started, man. Just that shit and just doing, and it wasn't the best thing. I was earning good money, but like wasn't flat out with work and that, and it was up and down, and I went up north, came back because it was times when I didn't make enough money, so I was like, oh, I failed multiple times. And then I did other things on the side. When I was 18, I was a nightclub bouncer. I'm not that big, but I was a nightclub bouncer. Someone just told me, and that's the type of person I am. I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I was doing that for about a year until I let an underage and got caught. And that just moved me on.
Yeah,
I couldn't work at that place, and then I just couldn't be bothered anymore.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. That underage was actually my girlfriend at the time.
I was going to say, that looks...
And no, what happened was her friend was seeing one of the other bouncers that I didn't know, and he let the friend in the front door. He was working, and he let the friend in the front door.
Yep.
And they weren't even together. And then I walked in the back door with the one I was with, and then the other one got caught, and then they came and found the one I was with, and I was like, fuck. So I left, and then the management called me.
Was this when fingerprints just came in or just before?
No, we didn't have fingerprints there. They were already there, but we didn't have fingerprints there.
Yeah.
Plus, I walked in the back door, and the security knows me. They're like, what's up, man? And I just cruised in. They're not going to ask me a question.
The old...
Bro, we used to go out nightclubs, and I knew so many people everywhere we went. We just walked in half the time, eh? And there was like lines and that. That was the best bit, like getting them in, and we just cruised in and getting free drinks everywhere and all sorts of knowing people. And
it was good times when we were 18.
Good. It was good. The shit thing was when you were partying and I was just sitting there working, but you know, it was all right.
I was too stoned half the time to remember shit, bro.
It was worth it because there's a lot of like people you meet and girls and all sorts of stuff, but you know, as it is. But so just doing that. That's basically it, actually. Bobcat driver, nightclub security. Other than that, it was just the mobile welding, working up north in the pipelines, trying to get on as a pipeline welder.
Yep.
But the old people wouldn't quit. And then I was like, this is shit. So then I left, and then I did it again. I was offered a job to weld in Queensland. So I shut my business down, like the third time, sold all the equipment. And then a week before I was meant to fly out, they call me and say, oh, no, we're going to take you to TA. I said, man, I make that money here a week. Why am I going to fly over there for 4 weeks, like 4 weeks on and 1 week off? And so I told them to fuck off and thought, what am I going to do now? So then I think that's when I went and did the Bobcat driving and that.
Yep.
And then I just went back to mobile welding again. It's what I've been sucked into all the time.
Well, you got that. When did you get that really small workshop when you had your orange 180?
That was the first. That was when I was 18. Yeah, I had a workshop when I was 8. From 18 onwards, I've always had workshops. Yeah, that was the first one. That was fucking cheap, man. That was like $1,000 a month. When I look back, that was
that's
good,
killer.
Man. Now it's
and then you had that orange 180, and then you turn that into a bit of a drift pig.
Right, give you an example. I pay like $1,000. That was only 200 something square meters, but I paid like $1,000 a month there. The one I've been renting, you know, I've had big ones in the past. I'm a big company, but you know, just a small one now is like $4,000 a month.
I'm not surprised.
So it's a lot of money. So you got to be out there making money. But yeah, it's I ended up setting up again, and no, I think someone told me previously in the first job up north, why don't you just go get your tickets welding? And I was like, well, I was told you can't do that. And I found a place that did it, and I went and got my, what you call a coded welder, the tickets for offshore pipeline welding for like 4 different things. And then I got a job on Barrow Island, did a couple of swings up there, trying to get on, and they fucked me around again. Come back down, and I was like, man, I'm done with this. I'm just going back to mobile welding. Did that. That's when I got the orange workshop.
Yep.
Next
to Cheekies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I started employing a few people who I was actually apprentices with. Things were going good. I had to get off the tools. I had like 4 people and I was off the tools because I was just so busy organising and getting jobs.
Yep.
I was paying them too much, right? Way too much when I look back because I was good to them. And so that's probably why I didn't make the money I wanted to make then. And so like one day I told them, listen, I'm going to have to bump your pay down a few dollars. Is that all right? And they're like, yeah, it's all right. And then one of them just never came back.
Of course.
And shit, you know, they don't
Typical,
get it.
yeah.
And then they actually all bailed sort of at the same time. And 2 of them went to the welding supply store and bought the same welding machines that I had in the car. Didn't even know that a couple of them were actually shit and I didn't like them. They were just Chinese crap. And the people called me and said, they both just come in here and I said, yeah, they're trying to set their own little business up, which they did, and they failed. But I actually had a low point then. This is where I was great back then, right? My mental health. Man, we used to wine and dine like fucking every night in Freo, go out clubbing 5 nights a week. I was
Social butterfly.
I
mate.
was a social butterfly. No fear, as I say, a bouncer. I was dragging people twice my size out. Like,
Do you remember? Hold up. Do you remember that night that we walked from Freo,
Spearwood.
yeah, to your house?
No, we walked to Spearwood to them girls' house first. Remember when Julian climbed that thing and was hanging off that big steel thing,
Yeah.
like 7-8 meters up in the air, like a weirdo? Yeah, we just met these girls that
No,
I used
but
to go to
one
school
night
with.
it was me, you, and I think it was
We walked from
Danzy.
Newport.
Yeah, from the Newport to your fucking house because we couldn't.
Yeah, but we
bother
walked to
getting
Spearwood first, and we went to their house and sat there because we thought something might happen.
I can't remember
because I knew one of them from school, and then after a while we're like, this is boring, so let's leave.
Right.
And man, it felt like the walk from Spearwood to Coogee was even worse. And then
I swear
was
it took like 6
daylight.
hours,
Yeah, it was
bro.
like daylight when we were getting home at mine, and I was like, that was dumb. Why don't we just catch a taxi?
or call your parents to pick us up.
Yeah, I don't know what we're thinking, but we've done a lot of weird shit like that.
Oh.
Were you there on New Year's? Well, you weren't. New Year's
one?
when me and Danzy met them older girls, and we went back to their house.
The house in
And we walked.
Mount Pleasant.
No, remember the one that had the snake?
Nah,
Yous were all sitting out there, and I was with the girl, right? And then yous ended up leaving, but we walked for ages, and then we were dying of thirst, man. So we were just stopping at people's houses, Look, and we were just drinking from people's taps. Yeah, man.
because I remember one year, New Year's. What was that fucking place we used to always go to every single New Year on
Left
the river?
Bank?
The Left Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we met these girls, and then she lived like up the road at Mount Pleasant, like rich as fuck. And then we all walked to her house, and we're all in her house. It was like me, Danzy. Oh no, you weren't there. It was Julian.
No, yeah, I wasn't there for that.
And then I ended up knowing one of the chicks because she used to be my ex's mate. And I was like, what the fuck? She was like, yeah,
yeah,
holy
you know what
shit.
that would have been? That would have been when my anxiety was in and I wasn't coming anymore.
Yeah.
So we're getting there.
We're getting to the angle.
Sorry,
We're getting to the mental
man, I
health.
said this was going to be the most interesting podcast, but I feel like I'm just droning on.
No, it's all good,
but,
bro.
Like,
Yeah, you're boring as fuck, bro.
you know,
You said you were hell interesting, but you're not.
you know.
You're his fucking mate, man.
Nah,
Yeah, I don't
I
know
just
why.
found
I
out he
don't know
didn't
why.
like me
I don't know
for
why.
fucking years.
I don't know why.
So I'm gonna give him shit. Nah.
All right.
No,
Okay.
continue.
Well,
I'm enjoying it. I'm
okay.
enjoying it.
We'll throw something in there to liven things up. What's the difference between a pimple and a priest?
I love this one. Come on, Joe. I know this one.
Do you know
I
this
don't
one?
fucking know. No.
Okay. A pimple waits till the kid's 14 to come on its face. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
There you go. That's a bad one that I heard from.
I got
I'm just the
another one for you.
messenger.
I've got another one for you.
What?
What's harder than walking through a field of dead babies?
Don't know that one.
My cock.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, that
You
one.
should have said the one you told your missus earlier. That was funny.
Oh, yeah. What's the name of the useless part around the vagina?
And she said, "That's the labia."
Yeah, because she's a midwife.
Exactly.
And I said the woman.
I actually lost it laughing because I was not expecting that. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay. Continue.
back to the story. Okay,
to our
if
regular
anyone's still
scheduling.
listening, right?
Oops, sorry, I just kicked the table.
Yeah,
Fucking scrub.
You work here or what?
I'm a dumb cunt.
So, so that's when I got the orange workshop. The reason we call it the orange workshop is because I painted the thing bright fucking orange
Yeah.
to get
Inside,
people's attention.
outside?
Outside.
What road was it on? What's that main road called?
Phoenix Road in Bibra Lake.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like the busy.
It's so busy, man.
Busy.
It's a great spot, and I put name up, and I actually put a billboard up, 12
by 10.
12 meters by 3 meters on the side of the building, and I didn't ask for permission. The council told me off, and I was asked for forgiveness, you know. And
Don't
they
forget,
said,
you also had to chop the trees down on fucking.
no, I didn't have to.
But you did.
I
so
got a
you-
chainsaw at night, ran through this empty block next door and chopped the trees down. And the bloke found out and goes, "What the fuck?" The owner come in and goes, "Who chopped my tree down?" Because he could see they were chopped. And I was like, "Bro, they're just fucking weeds, man. They're not proper trees." But he just got pissed because I didn't ask. I also put like a gravel road to park my truck on his land. I got
yeah.
gravel and a bobcat, and I'd laid the gravel myself. A full this driveway down out of gravel, and it was good for ages until he's seen it and goes, "What the hell?" And then I knew someone that I did work for, and for $500 they came and removed it all. But I said, "I'm leaving anyway, man. I don't give a shit.
Chris's motto is,
Do what you want, mate."
yeah, do what you want. Ask for
No,
permission
man.
later.
You know what? My life motto is
Forgiveness, sorry, later.
I live life on my terms. Always have, always will. You're only here once. I don't like taking no for an answer. I like to do things the way I want to do them. I just to live a monotonous life the way you're told, not happening. So, I painted the thing bright orange, put a massive billboard on the side, man. I got so much work from it. That's where I had those 4 guys. And the council said, you can't have that sign there.
Yeah,
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Off.
They said, you got to give us $400. I said, no worries. Done. Sorted like that. That's all they wanted. Their money. That's all they wanted. And then 6 months later, someone popped up and said, you can't have that sign there. New person. They wanted to find me.
Of course.
I said, mate, I'm moving out. Fuck off. So I took the sign down and I moved out. But I actually had a bad time there, man. My anxiety started probably not when I left there, but I had some bad times there where, is that me?
That's you rude prick.
She's finally responded. Oh, good for you. Thank you, darling. Been waiting all day for that. I had feelings of depression. I remember I was bawling my eyes out once a day with my parents, and I was just sitting there saying, like, I don't know why I feel like this. I don't know why, I just feel so depressed. And I don't know what I want to do, if I want to do this anymore, but it's what I do. I'm good at it. I make good money. And we talked about shutting down. And the options were, I'd got rid of those guys. Said, do I go back to working by myself, or do I go sort of big time? Because I've been dreaming. I've been driving every Saturday to this sort of workshop, not the one I ended up leasing, but I just look in the gate and visualize this 1,000 square meter shed and this 1,000 square meter hard stand. And I had a Range Rover then, so I was doing well. I'd pull up on a Saturday and just stare at this thing for like an hour through the gate. And, my parents were like, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I'll go big. If I fail, I can go back to by myself again.
Yeah.
If I don't do it, you're never going to know. So, basically, used everything I had, and went and it was actually my dad that found a property, I think it was about just under 1,000 square meter shed. Same with hard stand, 130 square meter office, and
It was big.
yeah, it's big.
Let's be honest.
About 120 grand a year to rent when I started. Yeah, so big risk.
Yeah.
And it was a 3-year contract.
Yeah.
So that's 360 grand. And you're locked in, and they wanted a big deposit. They wanted all this stuff.
At that time, it's basically a house mortgage. Mortgage.
So I've actually never owned a house. I've always just in the business. I don't bother. For me, the house, when I need it, I'll get it.
Yep.
Fair
enough.
Even now, I back with my parents because of the anxiety issues I had before, but also because of COVID, waste of money. I was paying $700 a week in rent by myself, and also paying half of my ex's house. I'm doing the Donald Trump weave now and then coming back all the time.
Don't worry about it.
So I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a
You know who you're talking to?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Who says anything, mate? Anyway, I don't feel the need to have a house because I don't have a partner. I don't have kids. I don't have all that shit.
Yeah. It only becomes a need sort of when that.
There's sort of the stigma behind it, but now I'm like, bro, I know what I've got. I know what I've got, and
Lucky bastard,
and I don't have to worry about that feeling of people thinking, he's broke, can't live with his parents. I don't have to worry about it.
Oh, man, I wish I could go back and live with my mum, man.
But I have in my life, I have made a ton of money, and I have also lost a ton of money. Why do I keep staring at you like you're the only one here?
Because directly ahead.
Because
of
I know the
here.
whole story.
Yeah, I'm telling.
And you're telling him. You're telling Trev.
Yeah, I'm telling Trev. So I feel like I'm just staring you down.
That's okay. You're a piece of shit.
Like, you listening? You better fucking listen. So
There's a red light, I swear.
Yeah, I've made a lot of money. I've seen a lot of money to the point where it becomes sort of not numb, but they're just numbers.
Yep.
And then I've lost a lot of money. Lost everything I had.
Hold on. Let's get back to the point where you're just getting into the
I'm
big
doing
business.
the weave, right?
You're doing the weave.
So, yeah.
You're skipping.
Yeah.
You're skipping.
It's just that when I get a feeling and I just explain it. So, I feel like I'm as boring as everyone else that comes on this show.
I'm enjoying this.
Okay.
This
is the first time I've actually told my story on paper, where it's been recorded, where next time someone asks me, I'm like, bro, just go listen to this podcast. I don't want to tell the story again. So that's why I needed to do the whole thing detailed.
Go on.
So we I had that workshop, and at first, man, I had machinery and stuff that filled a 300 square meter workshop that I'd invested in. Like $10,000 saws, $9,000 machine here, there, welding equipment, all sorts, forklift. So a good amount of equipment because I used to go to auctions and like I'd buy like $50,000 worth of equipment for 20 grand.
Nice.
When they were closing down.
Yep.
I ended up being one of those blokes one day. But when we had the shed, it was massive and there was like nothing in there except my equipment down one end. To the point where we had our drift cars and shit in there at one end and we just had them all lined up working on them. And then we were just out the back in the hard stand just drifting. Like just doing...
It was sick, doing donuts,
Yeah,
bro.
man.
That's when I had my 32.
It was like a burnout pad and we just come from the front gate down 50 meters and then just tip it in and just start fucking... Yeah, man. You could have just in the workshop, but I was like, don't do it in here because, I'm going to get skid marks everywhere. And the office was massive, man. When I'm in the office,
huge.
130 square meters and there's me with a desk.
Yep.
And I was just there in this big room with a desk, man, trying to call and make money. Didn't have any employees. And it took me 6 months to get like any work. I employed a couple of dickheads to help build some like equipment, like rollers for conveyors and that. Still didn't know what I was doing back then, man. They were taking the piss. I was wasting money. It took me 6 months to get my first job. And I got a job for like 20 grand. And I was like, man, fucking 20 grand. Because up until then I'd done mobile stuff and I'd done some stuff. But not like a full contract from a builder.
Yeah, it's very different, eh?
Yeah, and like it feels more corporate and that. So it was like a school. I think it was near it's near Carroll Ave. Is that Leeming?
Yeah.
Yeah, Leeming. It was this little primary school. Had no fucking idea. No fucking idea what I was doing, man. No idea. I didn't even know how to quote the job, the drawings. Like, I never quoted those structural drawings before in my life. Like, you have Boilermaker drawings, but I never quoted it before. So I was winging it. And
They were like, this bloke's the cheapest in town.
Yeah, it probably was, bro. And then it went pretty well. I employed some people I knew and we started doing it. And then we had a little bit of drama on site. Actually, not a lot of drama. Some of the main A-frames weren't right, so then we had to cut them on site and make them fit. And then the builder had a problem where they put the bolts in the concrete in the wrong spot.
Oh.
And I'm like, bro, we need to install these columns. What are we doing? And I solved the problem for them, which is what I do. I'm a problem solver, right? And he goes, great. I put new base plates, did all this stuff. And then after we finished, the engineer or someone comes back and says, you can't do that. And the builder goes, well, I don't know why you did it.
Yeah.
I was like, are you fucking for real?
This is a dog.
So then we had to fix it. And I was like, here we go. Now I'm learning, but it's good. This is what I want.
Yeah.
So,
Because you'll never do that shit again.
yeah, that is the way you learn, man.
Yeah.
That is the way you learn. And so that was the first job. I can't even tell you what was after that because it's a blur. But we started getting jobs.
Nice.
Right? And I started getting busy where my mum ended up coming and doing some office work for me because at the time she was just like a stay-at-home mum from when we were kids.
Yep.
And then my dad was doing FIFO for Chevron on Barrow Island. And when he came down, he started helping in the office.
Nice.
So there was 3 of us in there. And yeah, we just started getting jobs and doing it and building it. And, so the first year was all right. We didn't have a lot of people at the end of the first year. I think we only had about 6 or 7 at the end of the first year. Did some interesting jobs. Still sort of the mobile welding side of it, not the big structural steel all the time, but that's what we're getting into. And then second year started going pretty good. We were running 24 hours a day for about 3-4 months with a job.
Nice.
Yeah. It was crazy because it was great, like for you to feel that, like I'd go there, like I met my ex and then we pulled past at night and just check on things and I just cruise in like the owner and I'm just watching all these people work, making me money at night and all these Asians, just like little ants. And it was just great. And then we had so much that the only thing that was bad was it's like the how do you say it? The chicken and the egg, right? You've got to do the work to get money, but you don't have money before you do the work to pay the labor.
Yep.
So we take on a lot of work, we'll get money from it, but we've got to pay the labor in the meantime. How do we do that? So that was the hard bit because the labor bill was quite enormous at that point for 24 hours a day.
Yep.
Which we hadn't experienced before. And we just shuffled things around and made it happen. We found a way. And that was that period. We had that was some mining stuff that we had. It was great, but I was coming in at night because I couldn't trust anyone. And I just sit there and then during the day I was like, man, I need to know what's going on during the day because the day's more busy. So then I'd come in thongs and shit and I'd end up walking through the workshop with thongs and my supervisor's telling me off. Like, mate, you can't be doing that. And yeah, and I was working night and then I'd come during the day and just be at the office, and sitting on the couch and doing shit. And I was like, what am I doing? I can't keep doing this. So then I did get one of my guys that I trusted to run the nights and they were doing all right. But we did that and yeah, from then on, man, we were in that big shed for 3 years and it went from nothing to ridiculous.
Massive. It was massive.
Ridiculous.
I remember when you first started, like I said, I remember having my Evo in there, my 32. Yeah. And it's just empty.
Yeah,
and
we're just
I remember your
storing
third
cars and
year,
all sorts.
your Christmas party, I remember rocking up. And there was fucking people everywhere.
Bro, I spent over $6,000 on girls.
Yeah, it was killer.
Over $6,000 cash on girls, just for like a few hours. We had, at one point, if you ask my mum, she'll go, no, we didn't. She was a receptionist, right? She was admin, payroll, all that.
Yep.
But we did. Our core crew was about 15 to 20, but then I'd get labour hire. And all up, I can't remember exactly because it was always fluctuating, but we had over, the most we had over 30 people at one point. Somewhere over 30 people with all the labour hire, office, site people, everything like that. And, it gets pretty wild. Like the way to explain it was, I'd come in at 5 a.m. I'd work 7 days a week. My parents would work 7 days a week. We're just always talking about it in the office and that. You'd come in at 5 a.m, right? At 6 o'clock, it's showtime.
Yeah.
We go live. Like it starts and it's like bang, everything's going 100 miles an hour. You hear grinders going, people coming with questions, phone calls, problems, all this. Mum comes in, I need this. Someone's calling me. I need this sorted. Payment on this. Can we pay this? Can we do this? And my dad's going, I've got this company on the phone and my estimator's coming in, questions about estimations, all sorts.
Yeah.
And, and then I'd go to site, come back, walk through the workshop because even though I had supervisors, I was always walking through the workshop. I'd go through a pair of boots in 6 months.
Yep.
And it just got it not out of control, and then like it sort of when it stopped at say 4 o'clock, you just go silent, and it's like you can breathe, man. Yeah. But then we're still there till like 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes just there, and I'd get a lot of Uber Eats, and we'd go home and we'd just order stuff and. The problem with that is working with family as well. I had other employees in the office, about 3 other employees in the office. And the problem with family is it's good, but especially towards the end, you talk about it. It's all you talk about when you're home.
Yeah.
And the problems and stress. And then you argue with each other over nothing. And that is what we did. And it caused us issues. And when I eventually closed, it all got better.
Yep.
But it was wild. It was a wild ride, man, from start to finish. It was a wild ride. What ended up happening was the last 6 months took a real toll. My anxiety had begun. Probably, I would say, probably halfway through the 3 years. I would say maybe after the first year.
I think it was a little bit sooner than that.
I think after the first year it was bad, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it was just like sort of starting to feel a bit anxious about things. And I went to the doctor and looked at medication. I did all tests on like brain scans and body because I didn't want to believe like I didn't know what it was. I thought it was just stress. They thought it was stress, and I thought, nah, must be something going on. Spent thousands of dollars on tests, and it sort of I had all these medications, and I'm trying to work and run this big company, and I'm feeling seasick, laying on the floor in the office and shit, and we stopped going out. Every time they called me, I was like, nah.
I remember a lot of nights just chilling at yours, eating pizza, watching movies.
Yeah, it was. But then what happened was people stopped calling and people stopped coming around because everyone's...
Not me, mate.
Nah, not him.
I'm there. See, I'm the biggest piece of shit. Didn't like me.
Yeah.
But I'm the one that hung around, bro.
So we kept him. No, it's I've had that many wild ride experiences in my life, like that are just different things that it's made me who I am today, and it's given me a real different look on life.
Yep.
But it started with stress, and then the way it morphed into not being able to leave your house is where I was. Started with stress, and then I went out to Benny's in Freo, which we used to go to flat out.
Every Wednesday night, brother. We're
And
at Benny's.
I started feeling sick in the stomach from the stress, nauseous. And then I started feeling like I'm going to throw up. And then I started feeling social anxiety from being embarrassed. What if I throw up? I can't eat. I feel sick. Then the smell of the restaurant started making me feel sick if I just smelt it. So that turned into social anxiety. And then social anxiety, I stopped going and doing things, which turned into like generalized anxiety. And man, there's points in my life when I have not been able to leave my house. That's how bad it's been. It was a point where I was running that company where I would literally go from my house to the office. I could possibly go on site and walk around on a construction site. One time I got caught in a meeting on an office and like, fuck, man, I just got through it, but it was real hard. And, towards the end, it was getting hard where I pretended I was sick and I got my estimator and my dad, who was my manager, office manager, to go to a meeting for like a $300,000 to $400,000 contract. And I called in and said I was sick, and I nailed the meeting. But, that's the only way I could have a productive meeting. If I went there, I would have been freaking out. I couldn't even go in. Because it's like, even just going into a cafe or like a petrol station when it was that bad, it feels like I know there's nothing wrong. I'm very aware. I've always been very aware of things. But my body goes, no, we're not. You're sweating. You're going to pass out. It feels like someone's got a bag over your head and you can't breathe. And no one will understand. And I don't even say to people that say they have anxiety, I never say to anyone, oh, I know what that's like. Oh, yeah, I've had that too. I say, I sympathize with you because I have had similar, because everyone's is different. And it's a bit of a slap in the face when you tell people, oh, no, I know what that's like. Because everyone these days says, oh, I've got anxiety. Oh, I'm depressed. Everyone's got fucking mental health. And a lot of people,
It's the in thing
do.
now, eh?
A lot of people do.
It's the in thing now.
That's
it's
it.
to say, hey, I've got fucking depression. I'm
Yeah,
anxious.
or I'm trans, or fucking,
I'm a fucking alphabet person.
that's it. I'm a furry, whatever.
off.
So, like, where's my litter box? I need to piss.
Shut the
So,
fuck up.
but I had a big time, man. I don't know anyone that's had it as bad as me.
No, I remember
anxiety.
being in your car and we were going to cruise through Macca's drive-through. And you were like, I can't do this, bro. And I was like, what do you mean, man? We're just going
Which
through
time,
the...
bro?
I know, bro. And I was like, we're just going through the drive-through. No, can't
I've been
do
in
it.
lines where
just
I
like,
have gone through
fuck's sakes,
drive-through.
I'm hungry,
And this
bro.
was only like 8 months ago,
Yep.
going through drive-through, where I got blocked in by cars and I was freaking out and I was popping diazepam in the fucking line, hoping, hurry up and work,
Yeah.
And but yeah, the business took a turn where the industry was, I missed the boom. There's still a lot of money in it, right? And we did really well considering we didn't have a lot of robotic stuff. We got stuff from China, machinery, like big plasma tables and equipment we invested. We had semi-trailers, forklifts, our own EWPs, site trucks, utes, everything, man. I had a lot of money invested in that business. And the last 6 months, we'd already been suing people for... there's two that stand in my mind. One was this dog shit bloke who we helped out and did wine racks for him in his mansion in Mosman Park, right? And his design was shit. It didn't even hold the fucking wine. So I come up with a new design and helped him. And he called me on the phone and said, man, thanks so much. Oh, I couldn't have done it without you because he's having a party on the weekend and he had all these people at his house fixing stuff. And I was like, no worries. My guy's doing overtime to get it done. Job was 10 grand, right? And when it come time to pay, after his party, he didn't want to pay. He said, the workmanship was
Of course.
not going to pay a cent. And I was like, here we go. So we sued him. And this is a bloke that does this round town. Everyone knows him, but I found out afterwards. Don't touch him. This bloke has copper downpipes and eaves on his house in Mosman Park, right? That's how fucking rich he is from screwing people over. And we sued him. It took 3 years and we won. Got $800 interest. Amazing. And
He didn't even pay the lawyer fees, bro.
No, we were our own lawyers for that.
Yeah,
We had our one of it because under 15 grand you have to represent yourself.
Yep.
We had a lawyer that we would spend money to for advice, and we'd constantly be talking to him. So it did cost money. But it's sort of 3 years for that shit, and then he didn't pay. So the bailiff went and locked his cars up in his driveway, and he called up and goes, whoa, what the hell? And he's, well, who do I pay? So I think he paid us, and then the cars were still locked. And he was like, called us again, like, what the hell? And I said, yeah, you got to pay the bailiff now $400 to release your cars, you fucking idiot. So then I said, that's nothing to do with me. So then he had to sort that out. So another one was a bloke who owed us 120 grand.
That's a lot of fucking money, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was one of the jobs we did on the 24 hours. Right at the very start of that second year. And he got paid 2 weeks after we finished the job. And he said, I haven't got the money, they won't pay me, all this stuff, Monadelphous won't pay me for years. And while we were suing him. And then he said, look, if you want to call them, try to get the money out of them, good luck. I can't get it out of them. Finally, when we subpoenaed Monadelphous, got all the paperwork because they didn't want to help us either. It showed all the payment slips. They paid him the whole thing. We sued him, and 6 months after we won, still couldn't get the money out of him with bailiffs and shit, going to his house and that, still couldn't get the money. Never got the money after I closed. So, this is just a couple of the things that you go through. And all this is going on in the background while you're doing other stuff. And then you've got now money that you don't have that you're trying to run a business with.
Yeah.
And big holes, and you got
fucking people.
You got labour that you tell.
You still got to pay your workers.
I know people that don't pay their workers on time. But, right, I couldn't imagine why you'd stay there working there. But one thing we always did was pay the workers. Why he's looking out the window?
Fucking Charlie.
Okay,
Oh my
Charlie's
God, man, that just freaked me out.
What are you doing up there, big boy? Get down.
He's just like, I want to be part of this podcast too, man.
He's a good dog, that dog.
He is.
He always pisses on my shoes when I get here.
He's excited. He's excited. He's still a puppy.
Yeah,
bro.
I don't piss on his feet, do I?
You should.
I'm excited to see him.
But yeah, it's the dark side of owning a business, I suppose, eh?
I mean, there's a lot of dark sides.
The type of business.
There's a lot. There's a lot of dark sides.
When you're doing jobs for like 120K, you're gonna expect some fucking dodgy people. Yeah, I know it's nothing, right? But like IT, let's say you're fixing someone's computer, it's a couple $100. Like people are going to be more willing to pay you a couple $100 than 200K.
Do you know what the problem is? I'm great at organisation. I ran that place amazing. I'm good at problem solving. I solve all the problems. Everything's great. The only problem is people who don't pay you and you can't make them. Because if you want to make them, you've got to court for 3 years.
Yeah.
This
and
is
that's just
drawn out
unproductive.
And then you've got to still try and get the money. And by that stage, what have you done for 3 years without that money?
Just because you go to court for 3 years and win doesn't mean you're still going to get your money or not.
So look, end of the story for the business was basically my anxiety. Couldn't do it anymore was one thing. Where am I going to go with this? Business was going great. Last 6 months was where it went to shit because we were coming into the last 6 months of the lease. I'm negotiating a contract for another 3 years. First problem was the owner. We had to get the crane serviced, the overhead crane in the workshop. So we went and did that. And they said, listen, this thing needs to be rebuilt. It's going to cost you about 20 grand. And I said, okay, fuck, righto. And then...
Shouldn't that be the...
Hang on, we found out, we read the contract, and then we found out, okay, it's supposed to be serviced every certain amount of years. Now, it was not serviced for 15 years before we were there.
Of course.
So it's not my problem. Now it is, but it's not my problem because it hasn't been serviced. I'm not paying 20 fucking grand. That's part of my negotiating with, if we're not staying here if you're going to pay that. And he was adamant, no, well, you're going to have to pay it. So he said, I need to know what's happening. So I just said to him, yeah, we'll stay, draw the contract up, knowing that until I sign,
means nothing.
tough shit if I leave and leave you in the hole. So that's business. You want to be business with what you're doing? That's business with what I'm doing. And that's how business is. Business is fucking war, man. And you learn that when you're in it. It can be brutal. And that's nothing when I talk about being brutal. That's just small things. But I've had someone in my office just who I was a TA who I brought up into my office. And one day he was on the phone to another steel company and they were talking to him pretty mean. And this guy was in tears. And he put me on the phone and I just handled it. But I was like, you're not cut out for this, man. Like, this is nothing. You just, this guy's just pissed off at you on the phone. And you just, he's like, man, he's not listening to me. He's not listening. You know? But, last 6 months, we took on some work from another steel mob who a steel supplier said, hey, I've got this bloke who's got this work, but he can't do it. He's got too much work. I said, okay, I don't know. And he goes, nah, he's a good bloke. He's been around for a long time. He's an old bloke. And I said, well, you know, what's he like? Does he pay on time and that? And he goes, yeah. He says, he doesn't have an account with us. He's always just paid up front, like money. And I was like, okay, sounds good. You know?
Cash up front,
Yeah,
baby. Let's
this
go.
guy handles it, right? So we went and we took on the work. It was about $500,000 and these 2 contracts. And he did the drawings and they were slow as fuck and they were shit. And then we ordered all the steel, did the jobs. And one of the jobs we actually had, basically we had problems. He wasn't paying anything. And I said, well, we're not going to drop the steel on site. And then he comes in our office groveling all the time and that, and I don't know what to do, you know. And I was like, we're going to have problems here. And I went back to the steel guy who'd introduced me to him. I said, what the fuck is this, man? And he goes, oh, no, he's always been good, you know, I don't know. I said, man, you're a fuckhead. I threatened to break his nose after that. If you ever come near me again. So basically that we did those jobs. I got a little bit of money out of it, but lost a lot.
Yeah.
Because got a little bit of money out of it because we held the builder who went around him to ransom for their steel. But then we took the install on. And because the drawings were shit, the whole job went to shit. Yeah. And who had to fix it at their expense? Me. And the other one, we just never got paid for. And then that between that and the lawsuits, not getting paid and all this, we owed a lot of money. And then
fuck fabrication,
bro. At the end, and you know, you're still paying your labor and everything. All these guys and that.
Yeah.
Expenses on equipment and you know, also in the background, my anxiety and mental problems were getting worse, which I didn't actually know why, which I do know now. But when I get bored, I spend money. I do random shit. Like we had a truck, a brilliant truck, high ab truck, big crane on it. We use a crane all the time. And I just decided I want to sell it and get a different truck. So I sold that and went and bought a drop deck, a truck with a fucking sleeper in the cab we're never going to sleep in. and it was like 140 grand.
Fuck.
Sold the truck we had for 50.
Yeah.
Which actually, good story. I bought that for 30, made 20 grand on it after 2 years.
Very nice.
And then, but yeah, then bought this thing for 140 and I was like, why did I just do that? Like,
Because you're an idiot.
you know, and that was just, that happened a few times. Like I went to look at EWPs, like scissor lifts. I walked in to have a look at them and walked out with 2 EWPs signed. And I was just like, oh, I like them. I want
It's on the
them.
business card. Don't
I
worry
want
about
them. I want them. It's making sense because we're not going to rent them anymore. And you know,
Yeah.
When I bought my Jeep,
I'm saving
I bought a
money.
Jeep SRT, right? Because I don't know if they did this on purpose. DVG called me to go and said, we need something welded on a car in the service bay where he used to work.
Yeah. The
Right?
foreman called you.
And I walked in straight away and said, mate, you can't weld it. Can't weld it. And I wasn't even looking at a car. Right? I'd wanted a car because I'd sold my Range Rover and I was going to buy something, but I just never got around to it for like a couple of years. And I was driving to work, you piece of shit. I walked out back to the front of fucking DVG and I was looking at the SRT, a white one. And this guy's, I look at the window and this guy's got his face pressed up against the window, this car salesman, and he sees me and just fucking runs out the door and goes, hey mate, hey mate, hey mate. And I was like, oh fuck, here we go. And he goes, you like it? You like it? And I was like, I don't know about white, man. And he goes, hang on, I got something for you. And he goes, come here. This is the one that the boss is driving. And it was this limited edition, black. No one had the one like this, SRT at the time. And I think it was about 120 grand. And I went back, I think that night or the next night was like a Wednesday night. And oh man, this thing at night time looked even better, all the lights and everything.
Yep.
So I bought it.
It was a sick car.
So I fucking bought it. And the funny thing was, after I bought it and signed the paperwork, I was looking at another one in there that looked kind of better. And I was like, what's that one? And he goes, oh, that's the Trackhawk, supercharged.
Of course.
And I was like, what's that one? And he goes, it's got 700 something horsepower. And I was like, how much is that? And he goes, about 160. And I was like, what the fuck? I said, why are you telling me that? Why are you telling me that now? And he goes, oh, I didn't know. So yeah, I ended up with the shit one, but still good.
The shit one. You're a
But
fucking...
yeah, but I didn't go looking for a car. I didn't go there looking for a car. I just went there and they fucking bailed me up. And I was just like, I'll take it. and I didn't even drive it to work, man. I would never drive it to work because you can't drive a car like that to work because people judge you. So I'd hide the thing and I would drive a piece of shit work cute. And sometimes if I went to a meeting, I'd quickly whip home and get the car just so I could just drive it for some fun.
Yep.
Because this thing was a fucking beast, man.
It was sick. It was a sick car.
It was powerful. At the time, no one had them.
Yep.
And, I'd do that and then just keep hiding it. And I got that about 8 months before we closed and ended up selling it after we closed the business with some other shit, wrapping everything up. But yeah, so those jobs went to shit. We came to the end of the year. Lease ran out in January, I think. We're supposed to re-sign. And basically what happens is they pay like 30 days in a month minimum. It's always longer.
Yep.
So imagine a lot of fucking money. 1 month doesn't come in. Next month doesn't come in. And you got to pay all these people.
Yeah.
You would fund steel jobs and you'd fund the whole process, buying the steel, fabricating it, galvanizing or painting it, sitting in your yard, and your 30-day account, you've already paid because it's run out and you still haven't got paid. And they started changing the rules saying you can't invoice unless you've bolted the steel down. So, at first it was you can't invoice till it's dropped off on site. So then you drop it off on site. But they say, oh, no, we don't want it on site. We haven't got the room. No, we're not ready because the bricklayers aren't ready.
Of course.
So they delay it so we don't get paid. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
And then they'd say it's got to be bolted down. Oh, but we don't want all of it bolted down. We only want 3 columns out of the fucking 130. And then next week we want another 9. So hang on. Now I've got to go through the different weights because we charge weights, like tonnage weights, the price. And I've got to work it out. How much this month? How much this? And we've built the whole thing sitting in the yard or still at the galvanizers. We ain't got the room. And then they'd come back and say, well, we don't know if this is correct. And we'd have to work through it and go over it with them. And, and it's just, they just purposely made it ridiculous.
Delays,
man. It's all a game. It's all a game. I know Brookfield Multiplex, I've heard, is the worst because they'll do, them and John Holland. Everyone knows John Holland with the Children's Hospital. People will do, say, $10 million job. John Holland won't pay him or this is the rumor I've heard. Someone like them won't pay him. And then they'll spend $5 million in court. And then you go broke. They're still up $5 million.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This is what these big companies do. So you got to be real careful.
That's how they stay fucking rich, man. The money stays in their pocket.
Yeah, that's it. It's just a game. It's a waiting game. And it's like that guy that didn't pay for Monodelphis. Because what happened was, like, when we closed, we handed everything over to administrators for certain reasons, and it's just easier. And I don't even know if they got the money off him because they're supposed to chase up all outstanding invoices and shit.
Yep.
And then they also they wrap everything up, chase out all the outstanding stuff, they sell all your stuff, and then they pay everyone out, and it's just they do all that stuff. But they end up just your company and taking all the money for themselves, basically. So I found out now. But they're very expensive. But we basically, come December, I said to my parents, once again, I'm going through all the mental issues, not being able to live, like not even leave your house and all this, not having a life, working 7 days a week, fucking minimum 12 hours a day, not taking a wage for some periods. And I said, I can't keep doing this, like, we're going to sign another 3 years, or what are we going to do? This is just shit. I don't see this industry going anywhere. This industry is, where's all the Ferraris gone? No one's driving Ferraris anymore. The mining boom's gone. Sibmec's got fucking robots. Some of the stuff they've got, if I told you, you wouldn't believe. Like, they got like sea container. I've heard sea container vending machines for like consumables. Where you scan a card and it fucking comes out. Yeah, I don't know if it's real.
That's what it was like at BP.
I've heard that shit, man. So, and some other stuff that is just like, what? The money they've got. So, and like the money in the jobs became less and less because everyone's undercutting everyone for it. And then it's all a game. They'll just keep letting everyone do it. It's like the housing industry at the moment now. Everything's fucked, man. It's all a fucking game and everyone's getting screwed. And I thought there's easier ways to make money. And then I had all the dramas with employees, and there was a couple of bad apples that started causing issues for me.
Yep.
And talking shit, and then they were trying to rally other people. And it all just went to shit at the end of the year, and I just had enough. And I was like, it's too many things. I'm just, fuck this, man. So I said to my parents, end of November, 30 days, end of the month, we're supposed to get paid every month. I said, this was what called it. I said, if we do not get paid what we're expected at the end of this month, I'm done. Because you won't get paid at Christmas, New Year's Eve. No one's fucking there. You won't get paid January because they use the excuse. They always use the excuse, oh, well, half the office isn't here and all this sort of shit. So, I knew. I was like, we're done. And sure enough, with that contract and that fuckwit, all of it together, and I was just like,
enough's enough.
No. It was a Friday afternoon. I called it. Spent the weekend separating all the equipment, taking all of my stuff out of the guys' toolboxes that they still had, just separating everything, pushing everything to the side. And then Monday morning, I felt kind of bad because it was like a shock to them. But you can't really, this is what people don't understand. I had a lot of people angry at one of them was my cousin who worked for me, who said, why don't you just tell me? Like, you can't tell anyone because, right, it happens real fast, right? The way you do it. So the Monday morning, everyone walked in at 6 o'clock and I'm sitting in the workshop on a fucking office chair like this with my feet up, just with my dad. And they walked in. You can tell the place is stripped, like everything's just packed up, ready for auction. And one of them got on the phone, started calling some other people before they even got there, so they were all pissed off when they got there. and I just explained the situation. Half of them didn't want to talk to me. So I went out the front, stood out the front, so give people their space, and they packed the gear up. One bloke who worked for me for like 3 weeks and then left, and then the job fell through, so I gave him a job back. Did a little skid when he left the workshop because he was so pissed off. And I was like, bro, you worked here for like a few weeks and you left, and I gave you a job back. What are you pissed about?
Yeah.
Like, I understand it's before Christmas. People didn't, you just lost their job and you have no income. But it's not my job if you're living paycheck to paycheck. That's your problem. You know, you made good money. I always looked after them, man. Hot days, always had ice creams, going around with ice creams, you know, paid them well, gave pay rises. It was a fun place to work, man. I've had a lot of people say they miss working there, and man, it was just like, oh, they love working for me, and it was the best place I've ever worked because I know what it's like to be young, and I just wanted it to be a fun place. I wasn't even going to build a gym out the back for everyone to work out for work and shit and things. We had my dogs there running around.
Stealing alley.
Yeah, and just all sorts of shit, you know, and fun times. And yeah, so basically it happened so quick. I made the decision, called some administrators because we still – the way it works is like people have done it. A guy across the road from me just closed not long ago, and he managed to wrap it up. But in my eyes, with my experience at the time, we still had like $1 million in contracts that we hadn't even started that were on the whiteboard, right, at the end of the year. And we were doing drawings and all sorts of shit for them. And there is no, and that was, and then we still had stuff we were doing. There is no way that I could see to slowly wrap up all the work while sort of getting your guys to not jump ship.
Yeah.
And then not having anyone to finish everything off. Because when you tell them, like, this, we're closing or we're running out of work,
in
people are
6
going to
months'
start.
time, you're not going to have a job. They're going to be like,
No, not
"Right,
even
well,
6
I'm
months,
jumping."
man.
I'm
Not
just
even 6
saying,
months.
if you
Like-
tell them, if you give them a time period,
Yeah.
eventually they're going to be like, well, I'm going to secure a job now.
Yeah, but
It's
I'll
closing
do the
now.
same
Fuck
thing.
it.
I'll do the same thing.
100%, bro.
And I don't want to screw anyone over. But I got, you know,
It's business, brother.
no, but I was always nice. I didn't want to, probably too nice at the time. I didn't want to screw anyone.
We're back.
We're back after
Sorry.
Justin fucking relieved himself.
I had a monster.
I've also been told to wrap the 6 month story up.
Yeah. I said, mate, hurry the
No,
fuck
look,
up, right?
it's in my head. There's so much detail, so like I'm just going over it. But yeah, I don't want it to be boring. So, where were we? $1 million on contracts, right? I couldn't fold it up, so administrators called them. They come in and just take over. I spent a week with them in the office going over paperwork and shit. After that, never heard from them again. Never heard from the business again. Nothing like that.
Jeez.
But the crazy thing was, so at 6 a.m, everyone walks in, guys leave. By fucking 7 o'clock, my phone is ringing off the hook. I put it in a drawer. Builders calling me. Rumours out.
Yeah.
8 o'clock, I had people at the gate trying to get in, and we'd lock the gates. And then the fucking owner of the workshop found out, and he came down, and my dad went to close the gate. This is as before we locked the gates. And my dad went to close the gate. He used his car, his nice car, and just rammed the gates open. Almost knocked my dad over, ran him over. And my dad goes, "What are you doing?" You know, and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing? I own this place." And it doesn't work like that. We rent it. You can't just do that. And the administrators told us to close it. So I was like, okay. So we then closed it, and he come in and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" and that. And I was like, "Mate, I'm closed. I'm done." And he goes, "Oh, I thought you told me you were going to sign a contract." I said, "Well, you know, fucking, what do you do?" And then he goes, "Oh, are you going to, you at least going to clean the place?" And I said, "Why the fuck would I do that?" He didn't clean it when he gave it to me. I had to clean
fuck
it.
him.
Bro, it was filthy. It was a stone company in there. And I was like, I just said to him, "You got my fucking bond, don't you?" Which will pay for the next month rent, January, and that because I wasn't going to pay. I said, "You got my bond. Take it out of that," because I knew he wasn't going to give it back to me.
Yeah.
And that was a big bond, right? For a big place like that for 3 years. That was hard to walk away from. But I was like, yeah, whatever. So administrators come in. They seize your accounts, whatever's left. And basically, I just gave them everything, man, because I was over it. So I lost a lot in assets, like money-wise.
Yep.
I did keep some stuff. Stuff I was financially responsible for, which I then privately sold to pay back and get out of things and navigate everything. But basically sold everything off. on auction. Fuck knows what happened. After that, I left. And that was it with that.
Not your problem.
Yeah, not a problem. But that was just, it was good to be free, man. The day I closed and I was just like, bro, these builders tried to come take steel that was in the yard that wasn't even their steel. Their steel was in the workshop. And they'd be one of the people that hadn't paid me.
Yeah.
And I was in the workshop and they didn't know and they're trying to pick the lock. These two guys in suits and in a Mercedes. And I ended up calling the cops because the administrators told me just call the cops if they're trying to do that. And they were at the cafe with my parents and I was supposed to go there to meet him to sign papers after I closed. This was on the Monday and then I couldn't get out because they were there. So I said to my parents, well, I can't come to the cafe. We'll have to do this another day. So they said, well, we'll just do it tomorrow, then Tuesday when they're coming in. I said, all right, but I've got to leave. So I called the cops. Took forever to come. And then I slipped out another gate and I walked down the footpath and go, what are you fuckers doing? And then the cops were there and then the cops were on their side. The cops go, well, if there's steels in there, I said, they haven't paid for it, mate. He goes, well, can you just open the gate, let them take their stuff? And I was like, fuck off. No, it's not their stuff.
They haven't paid. They're the
It's
reason
not-
why I'm
I said-
fucking closing
I said,
down.
it's not even their steel, you dickhead. It's not their stuff. Their stuff is somewhere else. Anyway, I didn't care. I was like, whatever, man. And I just hopped in a car that come past to pick me up. Someone slipped past to pick me up. I left. And, yeah, man, it was so relieving. Like, after all the shit, I was just like, thank fuck I'm out of this trap.
Yeah, I can
That was
imagine.
going nowhere because I knew it was going nowhere, that business. Like, it was doing great, but then I just saw the future going nowhere. And I was like, can I see myself doing this forever? And I was like, no way. You're going to take a shit now, are you?
Nah, I'm a fucking dog, man. Just keep talking.
This guy. Come on my podcast. I'm going to walk off.
Yeah, sorry, I had to pause again. Dog was causing a ruckus. So, yeah, you closed up, liquidation, all that blah, blah, blah.
No, well, just administrators come and cleaned everything up
Yeah.
and basically left. And that's when life really started to get shit for me in mental health space because...
I think it all caught up, eh?
No, that's when I decided I'm going to take some time off. I was going to take a year or two off after all that and take a break. And, I won't even bother going into this, but I was in a relationship for 6 years through 2 years of the business and then 4 years after. On and off the second half. She wouldn't commit. But then again, I didn't take her to places, let's suppose, because of my anxiety. And she stayed, but it was unfair on her and I couldn't do a lot of things. And it was sort of like, where's the future going to go with my anxiety?
Yep.
We're going to be able to live a normal life in this. But she stayed with me and I decided to take the 2 years off. And in that time, I was going to focus on my mental health because that was the sort of time when I couldn't do anything. Yep. The first time I couldn't do anything. And once again, I just had no idea what the fuck I had, like anxiety, panic attacks, bad. And the reason I actually was with her was we went on a date and the second date we went on, we went to a movie theatre, man, and she knew I was getting weird in my seat real fast at the very back of the theatre. And then before I took my jumper off and I was starting to get weird and then the movie hadn't even started and I said, I can't do this. And she was already halfway out of her seat and goes, let's go. And I was like, this chick, man. And she was good. But then it started to get shit, She wasn't always there for me and that. Didn't understand. Had her own issues, I think. But amazing person. But, wasn't meant to be. And now I look back, I'm glad that it ended because it wasn't the right person. But and now my life has completely turned around from the last 6 months.
Yep.
I'm glad because now I can actually do what I want. I don't want to make a choice because you're tied down with your life and you're only with someone because you feel like that.
You owe them.
No, not the owe them, but it's like you're with them because that's not all you can get, but you're with them because you sort of...
You're settling.
No, not settling. It's like, well, I can't go out and meet anyone, can I? Like, we weren't actually supposed to be together. We were just like... met her on fucking Tinder like everyone does back then. And we just went on a date and then hung out and then hanging out. We liked hanging out and that was it, And because she was older than me, 3 years older than me. So that was something I was, I don't know. But So the anxiety, I took 2 years off, and the worst bit was I went to see a psychiatrist the first time, and he put me on this medication. He goes, mate, he goes, Indian bloke's like, you got 3 options. He's like, you pick. And he told me the 3, and I said, well, what's the side effects? And he goes, well, he also said I don't have ADD, because that was something that they asked about, the doctor. And he said, you got these ones. He told me the side effects, and I picked one that had good sleep. Man, first time I took a pill, bro, I was out fucking cold. I woke up, I didn't even remember where I was or what happened. And I was like, oh my God. I was spinning out. And then my partner was like, yeah, you fell asleep at like 5:30 in the afternoon. You've been asleep fucking, this was like, I woke up at like midnight, and then it was like, what? And then went back to sleep till the morning. Great for sleep. But I put on 12 kilo in 6 weeks.
Fuck.
And because it makes you put on weight, it makes you really hungry. And I was eating like shit too, a lot of sugar and stuff like that. And was that the time I was drinking a lot?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was a heavy drinker at one point there. Like I would drink. I remember just watching the Big Bash cricket in summer and just like downing Johnny Walker hard, man. Like Johnny Walker and Coke, mix it myself, strong as fuck.
Yeah.
The smaller bottles you get, what are they like? Fucking a litre?
A litre, 750.
Yeah, I'll go through one of them in a couple of days.
Fuck.
Maybe quicker. And I was just like off my head having a great time because like I wasn't feeling anxious. I was just drinking. And, I sort of still didn't want to believe that I had an issue, and that medication was the worst thing I ever did because one of the best things I ever did, get on steroids when I was 20 or 18, which you shouldn't do.
No.
Because your body doesn't need it. But
It definitely doesn't need the juice.
if you want to do it, fucking do it.
Yeah, but
whatever you
want
to do in this life.
Be prepared that there are a lot of fucking consequences.
Well, I don't
jumping
know
on
if
the
the
juice.
consequences are that I ended up having were because of that. All right. So
I'm not saying there were or
Listen.
weren't, but there's a lot of
anyway,
other consequences.
I got on it, and just like they say,
It's the best.
it's the fucking best thing ever, right? When you get on it, it's the best. I couldn't put weight on, man. When I was 18, I was 57 kilos.
Yeah, we all started going to the gym together.
Bro, I couldn't put
we were
weight on, and then I just
scrawny
went,
rats.
you know what? One day I just went, fuck this, man. Why not cheat? Get further quicker. So I did. And then once I did the first course I put on like 10 kilo, kept it on, pure muscle, because I did it right, and it's golden course, and I was like, yes. So then I kept doing it. Didn't do it properly after that for about 4 years, on and off. And then towards the end, I just couldn't be bothered with like the stuff you do, the PCT afterwards. So that could have also fucked with my head. I worried about that, and I heard it can cause bipolar and things like that, and depression and things. So, yeah, I didn't want to believe that I sort of had a problem or that anything happened. So I was drinking and fat as fuck, man. Like, I don't even know what makes stay with me, bro. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I was just like, what the fuck, bro? My old grandpa, who doesn't speak fuck all English, he's Portuguese. I rocked up at Christmas, and he looks at me and goes, oh, he goes, fat, he goes, so fat. And I was like, oh, fuck, hello to you too. Yeah. And,
That's when you know.
I was like, this bloke, the first thing, the only words he knows in English, and he's like, you're fat. I was like, thank you. It's a bit self-conscious here, mate. Small nipples.
I remember when me and you were like comparing our stomachs, and we were just like,
oh, yeah, because you had one like your old boy, big pop belly.
And then I was like, fuck, I was like, we need to change, bro.
Bro, I was eating what I thought was healthy. I started, because I was having years off, I was drinking. I was watching fucking killer, top-notch, like, movies. I got into, like, watching, like, full, like, high-budget movies, like Batman and all these fucking good movies. I was like, yeah. And then I started being...
normal movies,
Then I was... To me, I like the high budget. They've got to be high budget, surround sound, fucking everything, right? I'd sit there with popcorn. I'd also get what I thought was healthy. I'd cut up, like, these 2 small, like, green apples, strawberries, muesli, which is loaded with sugar, and then all this yogurt.
And healthy when you eat them individually.
It got bigger and bigger, the bowl, because I enjoyed it. And then I was just fucking eating it. And then there's sugar in the fruit, sugar in the muesli, sugar in the yogurt, fucking so much sugar. Then I got sugar in the Jackson Coke, Coke.
It's not the sugar you got to worry about. It's the fucking amount of calories you were consuming.
Yeah, but also I wasn't doing nothing but just sitting. I remember one point I was moving on the couch and I was so fat, like I couldn't I couldn't sit up properly. I couldn't move, man. It was a struggle to sit, like, move up on the couch.
You fat
And
cunt.
I remember thinking that. I remember thinking, fuck, what a fat piece of shit. I was like, what the fuck? Like, you can't even move on the couch.
Do you remember when we used to go on the boat 3 to 4 times a week, kind of wakeboarding? Can you imagine doing that? Like
after
while we were
work
that
and all
fat?
sorts of stuff,
Nah,
man.
Shit.
And
Fat.
yeah, man, it got bad, and but I couldn't lose the weight while I was on the medication, and I couldn't get off the medication. It was so addictive. I tried like twice. I could not get off it.
Yeah.
It was such a bad one to get on, and I heard that afterwards, and I was like, thanks, cunts, for telling me that.
Yeah, but you were like, good sleep.
No,
good
no,
sleep,
no.
brother.
It was good sleep at first, but like I was taking the advice of a doctor, and you know,
Half of them don't know shit.
well, this guy didn't, and he was Indian. And the funny thing is, the one I go to now is Indian, and I thought he was so shit when I was going in. I was like, here we go again, but he's actually really good. I judged him, but I finally went cold turkey. No, I might have weaned off actually.
It's when we started taking mushrooms.
No. This is way before that.
Oh, way before.
Third time, I think I managed to get off it, and anxiety was still bad when I was on it. Like, never changed. Got off it, and then I just was trying anything, man. Anything I could try. I did microdosing with mushrooms. That was a bit later on, like last year or something.
Yeah.
That actually worked. Remember the first day I was laying on the couch and the sun just shined through the window when it hit me. And then I called Justin on FaceTime, and he goes, man, you're smiling off your fucking head. And I was like, bro, this is a fucking awesome. I only taken a small amount. Like,
I remember, like, for the first 6 months.
because he took it first.
I was like, this is great.
For depression.
And then after like the 6 months, it was like you just start going through all these emotional roller coasters. You just I don't know. Like, microdosing mushrooms was great for a short period of time, but then once you're still on it for ages, you just
Well, you have breaks, but it's
I don't
because
know.
otherwise you get immune to it. They say to have breaks. So that's why you get on and off. But like the problem I found was it would swing both ways. That's why I ended up stopped taking it, because one day, great.
Yep.
Next time I took it, it made me more anxious. And you go, fuck. And you're on that ride.
Yeah.
Until
There's no getting
until it fucking, you know, I've got 4-6 hours of this.
Yeah.
And you just got to just bear down and just sit there with the anxiety.
I remember once I took like 0.25, and Sean and I were going to go drive to go get these fucking, I don't know, some dessert. All right. And I thought I'd just drank a whole bottle of fucking whiskey. Like, I thought I just drank a whole
You hammered it hard a few times.
I mean,
You were going a bit off the rails because...
I mean, some nights I was taking like 8 grams.
No.
but-
Because after your dad passed, you were off the rail. I was concerned about you. I was calling you every day.
Yeah, you did call me every day. Yeah.
I was there for you. I remember at the funeral, man, when he seen me walk in,
Oh, cunt, I fucking broke down hard.
he just broke down and started pissing himself crying.
Oh,
when he seen me walk over to him, that's when he broke.
Yeah, bro.
Because I was there for
I was
him.
putting on a brave face, but
And when he seen me, he just couldn't hold it in. But
like
I made him laugh. Bro, when I found his dad died, I come past his mum's house, and this guy was laughing because I made him laugh.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's the different side. I'm the only one that can do that. You know? We get each other because we're both cunts with bipolar. He don't admit it.
I don't have bipolar.
He don't
I'm
admit
just
it.
a cunt.
But no, you do. But I diagnose now that he doesn't. But we'll get there. But look, did microdosing mushrooms. Some guy gave me fucking edibles, cookies with hash,
Nah, fuck that.
blob of hash about the size of a Smartie on there. I will try anything, man. Someone gave me anything. Now, I don't do weed because a few times we were younger, got some bad experiences on that, right? Not good at all. Very paranoid. Ended up in my car, didn't know where I was about to drive somewhere, and I was like, how did I end up here? And just freaking out. But I thought I will try anything. So someone gave me a whole fucking handful of these things and says, take half. If an hour later you still don't feel anything, take another half.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Right?
That's the worst advice
So,
anyone can
hang
ever
on.
give you with edibles.
But I'm an idiot because I had a big bowl of pasta and then I had half and I'm sitting there watching TV an hour later and I'm like, nothing. I'll take the other half. And then an hour later, still nothing. And I was thinking about taking another half or another whole one, but I was like, you know what? I'll leave it, see what happens, and then tomorrow we'll try again. Best decision I ever made.
Yeah.
Right?
Fuck.
It fucking hit me about an hour later, and I was fucking gone, man. I was so fucked. I was in bed for 3 days, vomiting, tripping balls, couldn't eat. I was drinking water, and I was just flicking the TV. I didn't sleep for 3 days, and I was just flicking the TV, and like people's heads were freaking me out, man. And like their eyebrows were like wiggling like little caterpillars, like, and like these people were like, looked like my brother-in-law, and then like people were looking at me, and people's heads were like popping forward out of the TV and that. And bro, when I moved back home, and I called my missus. This is what happened. Like, and I say she wasn't there. Like, I said to her, "I need you to come here. I'm fucking freaking out," and she didn't come. Yeah. She came like 2 days later and goes, I didn't realise it was that bad. And I said, you fucking did. Yeah. I told ya.
Yeah, see you later, bro.
So I actually called my mum and got my mum to come to where I was. And I said, can you just fucking sit on the end of the bed there? I just needed someone to ground you. Yeah, that's exactly the words I used. I said, I need someone to fucking ground me because I'm just freaking out here. She knew because I'm open with my parents about everything. Everything. They know everything. And like everything. Criminal, bad, mental, anything, man. Because they were in my business. Us three know things that no one else knows. Like about the business, about everything. Even my sister and brother don't know. And we'll never tell them. Yep. But yeah, she ended up laying on the bed next to me and like going to have a nap. And I was just like, she's got her back towards me. And then she started freaking me out because she's just got her back towards me. I was like, the fuck? And I was
she judged me?
She just wasn't moving. And I was like, the fuck?
Is she dead?
No. I was just freaking me out because she wasn't grounding me. But then I was looking at the TV and they're freaking me out. And then I'm looking at her and going, she's just laying there like with her back towards me. And bro, it was a long 3 days. And I was like, I am never doing this shit again. I did the mushrooms after that, which was funny because I was like, I'm never doing this shit again. But then I tried mushrooms. Mushrooms was nothing's bad. Chill. But
you, hold on. If you took the equivalent of mushrooms that you took as like of the THC, you'd be fucked.
I was very nervous to take the mushrooms because of that experience.
But that's why I was like, we need to take 0.25.
Bro, I didn't even start on that. I started on 0.1.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Then I did 1.5, and then I got up slowly.
I started getting up to like 1.5 and just cruising off that.
You were getting reckless. You just take handfuls like Mike Tyson.
Bro, the first time I ever took edibles, it was me and Luke, and we were at Mum's. This is when I had that big fish tank. And someone gave me these brownies. I had a whole bunch of them. And they were like, just take a quarter. Just a quarter of this brownie, and that's it. Like, the same advice. After an hour, if you don't feel anything, take another quarter. Luke and I took a quarter each. An hour, nothing. So we're like, fuck it. We'll take another quarter. Took another quarter. We ended up eating a brownie each. And then I remember just turning my head to the left, and then 30 seconds later, my brain followed. So as if I just turned my head to the left to look at Luke, and then my fucking brain followed, like in intervals, like in 10-degree intervals. And then we both just looked at each other and we were just like, cunt, we're fucking busted. We're like, it's about to happen. And that same shit happened that night. Like, I went to go to sleep and I thought, I was that paranoid. I was like, I can't fall asleep. If I fall asleep, I'm going to forget to breathe and I'm going to die. So I was like, Luke, I need you just to be here.
I've had that feeling from sleep pills where I felt like my heart was shutting down. This is only recent. Like, I got some new ones given to me by that psychiatrist, and I was having sleep paralysis, hallucinations, people climbing in my window on top of me, trying to fucking kill me. And I've had dreams on trend, bro, where I'm chopping people up with chainsaws and
sweats,
shit. Yeah,
baby.
That's nuts. I get some stories about that when you're with your partner and it's just sweat pissing down your back and shit. But yeah, the sleep pills, man, I'm just, here it's hitting me, and then you feel like you're dying with these certain ones, the Vago.
Fuck that.
And like, you can't breathe, and you just feel like your heart's slowing right down, and then you wake up in the morning and go, what happened?
Yeah.
So
how funny is it the first time like you went under the knife? Remember when you got your knee surgery done?
I got my wisdom teeth first. And I was trying to tell them how amazing it was. I just woke up and I just, and she's like, I know, I fucking do this every day. And I was like, no, you don't get it. You don't get it. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. And she's like, yeah.
They're like, I remember the first time they're like, all right, bro, yeah, you're doing good. I just want you to count to 10. 1, 2, 3. You wake up in the morning and you're like,
she's shaking
4, 5. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, it was done. And I'm like, I'm still counting. I'm still counting. It's so weird, man.
I didn't realise the first time. I was like, she's like doing something, and I was like, when are we going in? And then when I found out, that's when I was telling her how great it was.
Because, we both blew our knees out wakeboarding. Because we're done.
No, I didn't. No.
Yeah, you blew
I
your
was on a Pee-wee 80 going through little whoops, and I put my leg out, touched the floor,
That's
and I
right.
hyperextended
Yeah,
it and just
that's
went
right.
bang, and I felt it snap. Yeah. And then I just thought I had a muscles cramp or something for like 2-3 months until I finally got it checked, and they showed the X-ray where it just completely was snapped.
Yeah, ACL.
And I kept working because I had muscle until one day towards the end before my surgery, I was walking on a footpath holding a welding machine, and I just dropped to the floor because there's no more muscle left. It gave way. That was with a knee brace too.
Yeah.
But
Good times.
back to the depression. So I had depression too, big time, up and down.
They
up
sort of
and
go
down.
hand in hand, don't they? The anxiety.
Yeah.
and
So what
depression.
happens is long-term anxiety causes depression, because you can imagine it's not so much depression. It's that bro, anyone in that situation would be depressed. If you're someone who's in a situation where you're fucking living in your car, you've got no money in that, and you're depressed, you're probably not depressed. It's probably situational depression, right? So imagine me not living a life, not going out, seeing friends, not doing nothing, not being able to take my partner out, nothing, not having a job, just doing nothing. And I was studying. I did some study. I did a real estate course, did a building course, and then because I thought about becoming a builder. And just any drugs I could try, I was trying. And I had this go on for, in total, until I fixed it probably April this year. It was about 10 years. 10 years. I lost a lot of friends, relationships.
You still don't have friends, mate. You didn't have friends back then. Don't worry about it.
I pay him on the down low. And... You know, it's been since I closed the business, coming up this December will be 6 years.
Fuck.
So that whole time, I have been working, doing mobile welding, because it's just the only thing I can do with anxiety.
Yeah.
I can't go study something new. I can't do anything. And then living in a shell. And the last 2 years I've been single because that ended. So it's been even more lonely. I had a house by myself. No one came over. I work by myself. I live by myself.
I came over like once or twice a year.
Twice in a year at least. And
We watched F1 together that one time.
we had that chick stay there and try and kill herself.
She came to my wedding, bro.
I
I see
thought I
her
was
in-
with her.
Yeah, I see her in the fucking wedding photos. I'm like, fuck you, cunt. Why were you there?
Oh man, someone recommended this chick who was desperate, this Indian chick. I let her live with me, helped her move out in one day on Boxing Day. Came to my Christmas because she's an orphan, and people thought I was with her at Christmas. I was like, no,
Yeah, you were just
she now
mates.
lives with me. 2 months later, I threw her out the house because I found a knife next to her bed and she was suicidal and shit. And I was like, I can't do this.
I got my own issues,
Right. And I
bitch.
think she was doing OnlyFans and all this shit. And I was like, I don't need this shit. She was getting weird. She would never eat at the house. Never bought food, never eat. Disappears on the weekends. He even thought, we ordered dinner together and she wanted this food and we ordered it for her and she didn't even touch it.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there talking.
me
and it just
and
got
Chris
weird.
were just eating it. I was like, fucking
But he made a comment like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, yeah, man.
yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 6 years. Basically, the whole time has just been work, hiding away, anxiety. I've missed birthdays. I've missed family dinners. I haven't been to a restaurant in probably 12 years.
Yep.
Do you remember when we went to Midori in Northbridge? Kind
Paid
of
$120 to walk out.
Yeah, it was me, Danzy, and Chris, and we were all like, "Fuck it, this is gonna be hell
Bro,
good."
I
Like
love
we've been
that
there,
place
we've been
too.
there a few times, and then all of a sudden, Chris orders and he goes, "I've paid, I'm out."
No, I got to go to the toilet. And I was like in the toilet going, bro, you can do this. I splashed my face. I was like, you can fucking do this.
Yeah.
I went back there and I was like, you're not doing this.
Yeah.
And I said to him, listen, I'm going to go. And they said, well, I'm not. Justin goes, as he is, I'm not fucking leaving.
I was like, "Cunt, I fucking just ordered, bro."
He's a
I was
dick.
like, "I just fucking ordered."
He's
cunt."
mellowed out a bit. But he was a full dick before even to me. And I'm like, even today, man, I worked 12 hours today,
I
which
don't give
is
a
not,
fuck.
not much for me at the moment. But, you know, I'm tired. And I said, can we bail on this podcast tonight? Can we? And he goes, no, you're fucking coming here to fucking do it, man. Get over here. And I was like, okay. But
I work today too, motherfucker.
yeah, but I'm not used to it. All right? I don't work a lot, man. I'm a hustler. I do what I need to do. Right? So, yeah, 6 years of fucking anxiety, living in a fucking hole like a rat, and no life. I didn't see a future. I've been suicidal. I never wanted to kill myself, but I understand why people do. I've had that feeling of pressure in my head where you just want to drive your car into a fucking tree. I've had medications, which all the anxiety medications, they don't actually tell you, but when you get on it, the first week you're on it actually causes suicidal thoughts.
Fuck, I remember
it's
that.
rare, but they don't tell you. Now, I'm that person, and I had this multiple times until I figured it out. And then I was like, once I understood it, I was like, okay, we just got to get through the week. And then coming off the medication, same thing, a week of wanting to kill yourself. And
Because there was a period where I was calling you when you were like, "Hey, bro, I'm fucking suicidal," and you were
Yeah.
like, "It's the meds."
yeah. There's
So
a
I've
few
been there for
times.
you too, bro.
Yeah. There's some times you've been there. And it's, you know, it's, I as Andrew Tate would say, it's not the smartest tool in the shed, but basically he said he would never kill himself because what a disrespectful thing to do to your parents.
Yeah.
That's what I said to my mum because she was worried one day and she was crying. Look, one day she found some fucking thing that said poison next to my room, some fertilizer fucking thing that I was like
Yeah.
a bombing fucking.
Yeah, but you were hell into your lawn.
No. I was bombing fucking like cockroaches in the workshop. And I had this fucking thing that said poison on it. I was trying to read how I'm supposed to do it. She come into my office crying. Please don't do that. She thought I was going to poison myself and commit suicide.
Yeah.
And I was like, chill out, man. And then I wouldn't do it like that.
I just get the gun.
Yeah, I just shit my, get one of my guns and blow my head
I'll
off.
just
No.
fucking paint the walls, bro.
Do you know what?
Simple.
People think that too. I got guns, right? And I got all these issues, but I would never fucking hurt anyone. And I like
You sure? You sure about that? You
not
never
with the
thought
guns, not with the guns. And I would never blow my own head off. What a dumb way to go. Why would you do that to yourself?
It's an easy way to
And
do it.
why would I do that so anyone has to clean
instantaneous.
that shit up?
Isn't it
Because then now
instantaneous?
they want to kill themselves. Huh?
Instantaneous. Just
Probably,
boom.
but you don't know, do you?
Well, let's find out.
I've taken enough medication to know that it makes me go to sleep, so I'd rather do it that way, wouldn't
Yeah,
I?
true.
Do you know? Because I've tested it. So
Zip ties?
look, just gonna go there. So you going to hell.
I'm a piece of shit.
You going to hell.
I'm a piece of shit.
So it's been done. Basically, it's been done for. Simpsons did it. Simpsons
no
did it.
respect to the. Sorry.
Listen,
it's all good. Continue.
it's a disrespectful thing if you think about it. Your parents have gone through this whole fucking life, working their ass off,
For you.
doing everything to keep you alive and give you everything, and all those times where they've been tired and they've had to work and they're in old age now and they're doing all this, and you kill yourself.
Yeah.
All that for nothing. And then they've got to live their life upset. So you just ruin their life even more. Like, that's disrespectful.
that unconditional
Let them
love,
die
bro.
first, then kill yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to
A
leave...
parent should never outlive their child.
I
man.
believe, and I ask this question to everyone, would you rather die at 80 or would you rather live for eternity and this thing does not end? Bro, not one person has said they want to live forever, except my
80.
mum. My mum goes, oh, just keep living forever. I was like, no, you don't get it. You don't
No.
get it.
You don't get it.
I love this planet. I was like, no, you don't get it.
No. Fuck.
So, you know, and the fact that you die is a fucking beautiful thing because it makes life worth living more. Like when you actually think about it and you analyze it, it's better. It's great that we die. It's great that there's an end because it makes things like you don't have to care because it's going to be over. No one cares.
No one's
Yeah.
going to fucking remember.
Exactly.
Anyway, bro.
If
Everyone's
you
got
had
their
to
own
worry
shit
about
to
this
worry
thing goes
about.
forever and everyone's going to know forever. Oh, fuck. You know?
Yeah, legit. An eternity.
And that I'm going to get a break, so go hard. I'm going to get sleep. It's all going to be over. And going to get one fucking go, man, as everyone says. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's I feel like we're going in circles here, can't
Don't worry about it.
But I find it interesting because I find myself interesting.
I think you're a pretty interesting bloke, mate.
Well, I'll pay you to say
Pretty retarded too.
that. I'll pay you to say that. Well, I'm not retarded, but I do have mental issues, and that can help me.
Everyone has
That can
mental
help me if
issues
I ever
nowadays.
get pulled over, right? So, look, it's all sorts of medication, wasted 6 years, wasted 10 years. I was at the point where I said to my parents, I just can't keep doing this. This was at the start of the year. I can't keep living like this. I don't see a way out. I don't want to kill myself, but I just don't know what to do.
We had that conversation when you were on that fucking trailer that you were building. I remember you just like, we were both just sitting there for
Which
about
one?
an hour and a half. You were building Danzy's trailer.
I said the same thing when I was sitting on a car trailer I built in that orange workshop with my parents. That's when I had
Yeah.
that conversation with them.
Yeah,
Must be something about car trailers.
God.
They have depressed me.
Every
So-
time you build a car trailer,
so
you're like,
it's
I'm
like-
going to kill myself.
Fuck, dude. They're so hard to build. I fucking hate it. I built that one for me, and then Danzy goes, "Can you build one for me now?" Because I'd already bought the material. I was like, "Nah,
Yeah, I know.
get fucked. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
Here's your money back." You know, the whole long-term anxiety giving you depression, that makes it even worse because then now you got depression. And so all the medications I tried, they sort of helped with sleep, and I just couldn't wait to go back to sleep, man. And I was like, this is a shit life.
Then you got to wake up every
I
day.
thought, how am I going to meet someone? How am I going to take someone on a fucking date? I can't even go on a date, bro. Can't go on a date. Like, I'd still occasionally meet girls and, can you come hang out at my house? And they think you just want to sleep with them. And I'm like, actually, no, I just can't go out. Like, you want to just hang out or we'll just do something chilled? Can we just go to the beach or something? No, I want to meet you in a public place in case you stab me. And I'm like, well, I can still do that there anyway. But like, you know, like, and so I had a few dates, went on the beach, but it was just so much harder, man. And you want to meet people in public. And it's not the person I am. If you knew me before and then you knew me like Justin, when I was in the anxiety, I was just a shell of a human. Yeah. And I honestly just thought, why am I here? Because I can't run a business anymore, which is what I love. I can't do anything. And to be honest, what changed? I saw a psychic, which I've seen a lot of times. Don't know if they're true or not, but she said something to my mum when she saw her last year, saying in a year he'll have himself sorted out. Just give him a year. If you have his relationship, we'll sort things out. Then she said something to me about it. April this year, a lot of things will happen. So I had that positivity, that hope. Let's believe it, you know? And not everything
positive
happened.
mindset, eh?
Not everything happened. No, but I also I spoke to my doctor about TRT, getting my testosterone checked because I'd started researching more about that issue. Actually, no. So what happened before that, last year, was I was getting so bad that I was having the worst panic attacks and man, I couldn't go anywhere again outside of my house. Probably middle of last year, it happened again. And I couldn't go to the petrol station. My dad is absolute hero. He is always there when I need help because not the help you think, like don't get him to lift something. He's overweight. Don't get him to help you build something. It's not him. He'll write the fuck out of a good email when we're suing someone. That's him. But he's always there, like, and I used to give him so much crap when we had the big company towards the end because I was taking shit out on him, and I will live that for the rest of my life, regretting that. But it was because of my mental illness, in part. And it's sort of, you know, he would always come with me. I said, I need to go to the petrol station. I need to go to Bunnings. And he'd just come with me because that's the only way I could do stuff. I could do stuff with Justin. Like if I had someone with me, I could do certain things, but you know, not a lot of things. Only simple things out in the open. If I'd freak out, you know, we'd have to leave, and that was annoying for people. And I felt guilty. So then I just stopped asking people and just didn't do stuff, you know, and then working on and off as well because it would hit me, come in waves. And then I said, Dad, I want to get help. I can't do this anymore. And he goes, all right, we'll go to the doctors and we'll try again. So we went to the local GP and we had an appointment during the day. He took work off and I couldn't even go in the waiting room. And he goes, well, I'll just wait in there for you and then I'll tell you. I couldn't even go in the front door where there was a seat right in the door and no one was around. I said, I can't do it. He said, well, I'll wait here and then we'll call you in. And I said, I can't go in there. I can't be in that little room. I just can't do it. So I went back to the car and I was like physically shaking and just freaking out. And he spoke to the doctor. The doctor came to my fucking car and had a consult through the window in the car park. Weird as shit ever.
But it's good that they did that.
Well, he was a bit confused. Like, he was a bit like, what the fuck? And a bit confused, this
Yeah.
guy. At
Probably
the
never
same
seen
time.
shit like that. Well, I'm sure he would.
I don't know.
But
I don't know. And it's a weird thing for me because in my head, once again, like, I am always so fucking aware because that's the way I was born. Like when I was doing bouncing, I'm always watching everything in business. I see stuff no one else sees. Like I just see something 20 meters away on the piss, and I'm like, that's That's not straight. That's fucked. That's fucked. I'm good at analysing stuff. Attention to detail and all sorts. And hyper-focused that I knew exactly what was going on, but I just can't control it.
Yeah.
And that makes it even more frustrating and pisses you off. So he's trying to figure out, the doctor's trying to figure out, he gave me just like diazepams and things like that, and then we're trying to figure it out. And then my dad was the one that did a bit of research and come up with the idea of the fact that I might have bipolar. And I thought, I don't want to have bipolar because my neighbour had bipolar when I was a kid and she was a fucking looper. She used to eat a block of cheese and just drink wine and beer in her
Fucking
bed.
love cheese though, eh?
And she had a wild time, man. I've seen cops drag her out of her house by arms and legs and put her in a paddy wagon and take her to Greylands. And she would take the medication and then she'd feel better and she'd get off it because she thought I'm better. I don't need to be on it. But then she'd go wild. And you know, I saw that and I was like, I don't want that. And the hallucinations and all the crap that comes with it. And it freaked me out at first. But then he said, I still did research and they said that they don't think I have bipolar 1. The GP said, I think you have like bipolar 2, which is not the crazy one. It's more just like, apparently a lot of men have it and they don't know they had it. And you get it in your early 20s and it goes undiagnosed. And it's because people just think it's mood swings for men. But it's, I've done a lot of research on all this stuff now and learned so much that you would just see all these little symptoms and think it's just like something like you're a perfectionist or you're got all these little issues. But if you put them all together, you've actually got bipolar. And bipolar 2 is you have moods up, which are high productive and like hypomania. And so this explains my life of working flat out. I'll work 24 hours a day flat out, never sleep. And that's why I was good, always working, made money and was always in business and that, and always had the energy. And then you go through these periods where you're depressed and you just cannot get out of bed and you just can't be fucked. And it doesn't matter. No motivation, no energy, nothing. And those were the days that I struggled with that made me question my life and that when I was younger. And do I want to do this? And I had all these down things. And they can last a day. They can last a week, 2 weeks. And it hits you like a truck. It comes in waves and it hits you like a truck. And the crazy thing is, like, after the final day of that, the next day you go back to hyper, man, you're on top of the world.
Yep.
You are on top of the fucking world,
Yeah.
and everything's amazing. It's
All
the
that
best day
dopamine
of your
comes
life,
back,
man.
bro.
You just feel so amazing. Everything is just amazing. And yeah, so he diagnosed me with that, and the GP was not meant to put me on medication for bipolar. I was supposed to see a psychiatrist, but it was urgent. So he put me on sodium valproate, which is like a very stable one used for epilepsy and all sorts of stuff. And then we slowly increased the dose because it wasn't sort of doing anything at first. And he said, look, we're at the limit where I can't give you any more unless you see a psychiatrist. So he booked me in, and I kept bailing on this thing and pushing it back for months. It was supposed to be like last year, and I kept pushing it back. I only saw him in April this year. And he kept on me to go. You got to go, because his ass was on the line because he gave me medication he shouldn't have given me.
Yeah.
And I actually tried to stop taking the bipolar medication, and that was a bad idea because, I had a bad time. Maybe because I'd come off it too quick.
Yep.
But I was wild, and I just freaked out and had to get back on it, and then had to wait for it to get back in my system, and it was major panic attacks and that. And so that was the start of that. Thanks to my dad for finding that out. It changed my life. And there's other things to bipolar too. Everyone is listening, if you think you've got it, look it up, man, because it's a simple thing. The stigma of, but I'm on medication for it. If you've got it, the medication will change your fucking life. Just take a couple of pills, and they're not crazy pills. They're just sodium valproate. You can be on them for 40 years. There's guys that have been on it for 40 years, and right, they're safe as fucking shit out. There's no long-term effects. There's no side effects. There's no nothing. One of the things the psychic said to me was, make appointments for the doctor, and she said, keep them. Make sure you keep them.
Yeah.
And that's something that stuck in my mind. I was trying to be positive, trying to listen to what she said and just go with it in case, have the hope, because I had nothing else. And I kept putting it off, and then I asked about the testosterone because I'd done a lot of research about depression and that with low testosterone. And I thought, well, I did steroids when I was younger. Maybe my test is low because I was having issues with things from low testosterone, I thought.
Yeah. I remember we were going through the checklist of like things that low test could cause. And you were like 9 out of 10 of the
I had
symptoms.
a lot of stuff, man.
And we were like, bro.
my dick don't work.
Yeah.
No.
I was like, bro, you should.
I just wasn't interested in any of that. Girls, none of that anymore. Just couldn't be fucked. No energy. No body energy. I was falling asleep during the day. I had a lot of weight around my belly. So I was jacked, man. I was fucking yoked when I was younger because of the steroids.
Yeah, I was about to say, steroids do that to you, bro.
Until I fucking took that medication that made me gain that weight. Yeah. After that, I could never lose. I dropped that 12 kilo in 2 weeks when I got off that medication. Fucking, that's even nuts more than the putting it on.
It's water, a lot of water weight.
Yeah, but I had a lot of the fat around my stomach and sides.
Yeah.
Could never get rid of it. Doesn't matter what I did, exercise, could not get rid of it. And then I found out that one of the side effects of low test is in men is you get belly fat. And that's why you see probably a lot of these older guys with pot bellies. Yeah. One, they drink, but also that's where it gets in men.
Yeah.
And so I went to the first doctor and he tested me and I said, what's the results? And he goes,
yeah, you're all normal, mate.
yeah, he said, you're normal. You're in the range.
Shut the fuck up.
And I was like, well, what is it? And he goes, don't worry about it. You're in the range. It's all good. I took his word for it and I was like, oh, okay. I'd like to know what it was, but he didn't really explain it. He goes, you don't need it. Then I kept looking at it and I was like, you know what? I don't believe him. Like, I want to know what the result was.
Yeah.
So then I went to another doctor at the same GP and this guy actually listened to me. And he goes, you know what? You sound like you're a smart bloke. You sound like you know all about it. Let's get you tested. He goes, I've had other people come in here and it's changed their life. So I got tested and he actually told me what he tested for. And it wasn't just like testosterone. It was like LH level, estrogen, FSH, all these things. And to give you an example, when I got my results back, so in the Australians, they sort of use the standard of, say, your FSH level is between 9.5 and...
That's your free test, though.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah,
the available free test that anybody can use.
So 9.5 and 35, I was a level 15, so 20% out of 100. And then my LH is between 1 and 8, I was a 1. So it could just be genetics, or it could be because I fucked around and didn't do the right PCT, and after that it screwed me.
Yeah.
The bipolar could have also been from that. Might run in my family. But it doesn't matter. Is what it is. I don't regret anything I've done, ever. Not one single thing. And the test come back there, and this guy was like, yep, we'll send you to a specialist. Got to the specialist, could not fucking wait, man. First day, he gave me the juice. And it was way too high, which was great. And then, when he told me I had to back off, when I went to get tested again, that FSH that was a 15, I come back as a just under 60. And
you were juicing,
the level for an 18-year-old. Well, to give you an example, level for an 18-year-old was 35. Yeah. That's what they say for a peak 18.
So you double. So you're basically enhanced levels.
Yeah, I was enhanced. But the funny thing was, I was taking 0.5 mil every week.
Which is nothing.
I was taking 3 mil a week when I was juicing when I was younger. So you imagine what my test levels were back then, like 300 or something.
Yeah.
So nuts. That's why it fucks you. And that's why your nuts shrivel up to fucking raisins and all the stuff that happens.
Well, of course they do. Because you don't... What's the point in producing testosterone if you got too much of it?
That still happens now. That's just one of the side effects I have to deal with. They shrink a bit. But it's... I don't get anything else. But so what we did was he said... there's so many different things people can do, but I opted to fully inject yourself because it's the best way. Gets in your system, stable levels, everything like that. And I'm used to it. It's easy. Some people can't do it to themselves, but I just jab myself. So we pushed it out to different schedules, and now we work on 10 days, 0.5 mil, 10 days. Actually, I think I might have been doing more. I don't know, but that was the level I was at. But we work on now. Now it's like 0.5 mil every 10 days. And I'm at 38. So I'm still over the 18 level. And he says, look, it's not where I want you to be. He wanted me to be under the 35.
Yeah,
He goes,
because he's probably got a quota. though.
No, he wanted to be under, but there's no way to with the way the syringes are, they come in 1 mil, so I use half and then another half a week the next time. There's no way to there's no actually way to measure it in a lesser amount, like 3 little amounts that are equal.
Yep.
And then to stretch the days out, if you stretch the days out longer for half a mil, you get a crash at the end of the at the end of it.
Because at the start you've got all this testosterone flowing, and then all of a sudden
because I actually did the blood test wrong. I did the blood test like the day I jabbed, and my it was skyrocket, man. And then I told him, he goes,
and it also depends on the time.
Yeah, he goes, you got to do the blood test the day before you jab, so it's in your trough. So we went through all that bullshit, and it's he said, it's not where I want you to be. It's not where you want to be. It's a happy medium. Like where he wants me to be is not where I want to be.
You want to be at 65.
Yeah, I did.
And he wants you at 35.
I did.
Yeah.
Because it felt great. But I backed off, and now it's all good. And, I feel it. It's amazing. I feel like I'm 18 again. Between that and the other one, the bipolar medication, and then that same doctor who helped me with that, I talked about anxiety. And he said, look, I've got one, which I put people on in the past and never had a problem. It's an old one. And I'd never tried it before. And I tried it, and he said, look, you're going to feel sick like those other ones that made me feel seasick. You're going to feel nauseous. But I wasn't working at the time. I said, righto, take time off, sit home, be sick. And we started, the normal dose they start at was 20 mil. I started at 10 just in case. 10 made me fucking sick. And it was sick for 2 weeks, nauseous. Gave me nausea pills. And I just sat home and just was nauseous every day, couldn't eat. There was times also back when I said I couldn't go to restaurants and that and I couldn't eat. My mum's home cooking, I would put in my mouth and spit it out and go to vomit. A gag reflex. I could not eat because of the stress and the anxiety.
Yeah.
And
your mum can cook, bro.
yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, what the fuck?
Your mum can cook a
I'm gonna
fucking
die.
mean feast, bro.
So he gave me this one, and then we bumped it up to like 30 mil. And I could feel it getting better. Like what it does for you is like, instead of anxiety, you just get to a point where like you don't care.
Yep.
Like it disappears because you don't care. And then at that point I went and saw the psychiatrist finally. And I was actually going to bail because they pissed me off, the receptionist, and they bailed on me the day before the last appointment. And I thought, no, got to keep it because the steroids has helped, all this stuff. Just got to fucking go to it.
Yeah.
So I went to it thinking it was going to be rubbish. This guy was a lot different to the other guy. I actually spent an hour and a half or an hour in there. Dad came with me because I couldn't go by myself. And had a full conversation about things and asked me all these questions that no one else had done. I had to do 3 questionnaires before that.
Yep.
On the computer, which took forever. And at the end of it, he basically said, he goes back on the computer and I said, all right. I said, so what's the go?
Did I pass your test?
No, I was like he didn't say I had bipolar or anything. I was like, so wait, do I have bipolar or what? And he goes, oh yeah, you got bipolar. And I was like, oh, okay. And he just turns around and looks at me like, what? Yeah, of course you do. Bipolar too. And then I was like, cool. And then he goes, it's not like something you get diagnosed for properly.
Yep.
So it's a word of mouth thing, but it's pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure I got it. And he gives me a license to be a cunt. But, the anxiety medication, he said, I want you to, the max amount is 80 mil. He said, I want you to be at 60. So I bumped it up faster than I should. And I suffered the consequences for that, being sick and all that. But when it got to where I wanted to get, it was amazing. So between those 3 things is what I take now.
Yep.
And absolutely changed my life. Like, man, I can go anywhere, do absolutely anything now. I can go up to anyone on the street, start a conversation, talk to, I don't care who it is.
Pick up
middle of the shopping centre.
Pick up crackheads on the side of the road now,
I'll do anything. I don't care. I don't care what people think. A whole group, I could walk in a restaurant and say something funny and stupid and watch everyone turn around and just point and laugh at me like a fuckwit. Cool, man. I don't care. Like, people's opinions do not worry me. I've also done a lot of reading on books now since I can focus. It's helped my focus. I read like psychology, non-verbal communication, body language, all this stuff, which actually helped me with understanding when people are looking at me and you feel like they're thinking something about you or they're judging you. I know what they're thinking more, and it's made me more comfortable.
What am I thinking right now?
That's a genuine smile. I'll say that. Because of the... See these?
Yeah, the creases on the eyes.
It's a genuine smile.
No, I was thinking you're a piece of shit, mate.
Well, you're bipolar, so no one knows what you're thinking. So... I'm
only joking.
It's... to give you an example, I was always a cunt, man. Like, big time. And I just said that's how I am. Deal with it. My parents, everyone. Like, I don't care. I didn't know why I was, but it's just what it is. And brutal, man. I've always been brutal and honest. One time we were in Freo. This is the story I tell people. Remember this? One time I was in Freo.
I don't know.
Someone walked. We were at Sandrino's in Freo. You, me, Jason, Danzy. And so we'd seen someone we know walk past on the other side of the street, and he's with some new girl, and we're like, hey, Baz.
Hey.
If Baz...
He painted my
Baz,
house.
if you're listening, I apologise. I didn't mean it, right? But it was fucking funny, right? So he walks past, and I'm like, we're all going, Baz, Baz, and he looks at us, but he doesn't want to come over. And so I yelled out in a packed restaurant out the front where we were sitting. I was like, oi, come here. I said, she's not that ugly. And all of them sitting with me go, everyone at the restaurant sort of looks, and they all go, oh, like at the same time. And I didn't know there was anything wrong with it.
Yeah.
Until they make that sound, I looked at them and go, what?
Yeah.
Because to me, it's fucking funny. Like, this shit's hilarious. I find that shit funny, man. I always do it to people, even now that I'm on medication.
Baz
I
is
do
a good
stuff,
bloke.
and I hurt people. I hurt people. And he did come over, and I thought, Jason goes, well, he's probably going to come and smack you. I was thinking, what's fucking me, cunt. But
That's who we got the mushies off.
yeah, thanks.
Oh, shit. Probably should beep that out.
Baz who? Baz Lerman.
Yeah. There's no Baz.
Yeah, you know, and it was a bit awkward after that. But I was like, nah, I don't care. I just not. I find things fun. Okay,
But hold on.
at his dad's funeral, so at your wedding,
My wedding.
I said to him, bro, I have the best fucking idea.
Baz wasn't there.
Not Baz. I said to you,
Oh, I was
I've
like,
got the best
I was like,
fucking idea. Let's get a full-size cardboard cutout of your dad
Oh, hell wanted that.
so everyone can fucking take photos with it. I thought that was the coolest idea.
So did I.
He told his mum, and his mum was pissed. She's like,
She wasn't pissed.
She's like, no.
She just said,
she was
I
offended.
didn't want that.
No,
She-
it was, you know.
She just said, no, I
Right,
don't want
I do that shit all the time. Put my foot in it.
I
offend
thought,
people.
I was like, fuck yeah,
You know
that's
why you thought it was a good
awesome.
idea? Because you got bipolar.
Because I thought it was cool. Like,
Bro,
all
he's
of
got
us...
bipolar. I've explained it to
for fuck.
I've explained it to Shauna, and we've had conversations with you not in the room, and she said yes.
You're a
Yes
dog.
to everything. And
You're
you
a
got it.
dog. You're a dog.
Mate, I got you together. Shut up. The kid wouldn't be born without me.
Yeah, you're right.
So, you know, it's now I'm on the medication. Life is, bro, I wake up every day, and my life in the last 6 months is like, you could not piss me off. You could not make me angry. I love life so much now, and I have no idea where I'm going. I'm about to start a whole new career, a whole new chapter in my life because I'm quitting my job now. I'm doing my last job now in this game because I'm fucking over it. No idea where I'm going. Just going to completely start at the bottom again and try something new. And I feel like everything we've done so far is going to pale in comparison to the future. Because now I'm feeling dangerous. No, now I have the
murderous.
power back. What I've always had, that I know I've had, and what I had when I was 18 and what I had when I was younger. That, you know, that fucking domination, that drive I've got, and just the skill to be able to talk to anyone and just not give a fuck about anything, man. And the bipolar helps with that. Like, because one of the questions he says to me, the psychologist was a psychiatrist. He says to me was, one of the questions was, do you feel like the world's going too slow and you're smarter than everyone? And I looked at him and I said, well, yeah, but he goes, you can answer honestly. And I was like, well, yeah, but you know,
Just because
and
you
he
got
goes,
a PhD doesn't mean shit.
no, I was like, well, yeah, but like, you know, people are fucking dumb. You know? And I always thought people, man, I've always talked about people, and man, people piss me off. I fucking hate people, right? I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm like, just fuck off. And now things have changed because of the medication. I'm a people person. I love hearing people's stories. I love socializing. That's what my mentor, one of my main mentors, has told me to do now. To find a new job, find a new career, just socialize with everyone. Something will fall in your lap. You'll meet someone who meets someone else, and you know, it's actually a blessing to have something like this. But you got to see it a different way because it gives you that feeling like I'm better than everyone else. But I don't look at it as in a nasty way now. I look at it as in like, I don't give a fuck what they think. I'm better than them. I don't give a fuck what you think. You can ask a girl out and she'll be like, no, and laugh at you. I'm like, cool, man.
Your loss.
Yeah, no, not even your loss. Just like, so what? I don't give a fuck. Well, I'll be dead soon. Who cares? Like, do you know when people die, they regret the things they didn't do? People say that. Just picture yourself being old. What would you regret? The things that you've already done now. You know, I'm not going to regret shit. I took the risks. I've done things. I've done so many things in my life that people would dream about. You know, when I did that big company, I was 23. When I had 23, 24, 25, when I had multi-million-dollar company with all these people working for me and my parents, who then lost their job when I closed. I left them stranded.
Nah, your dad's always been smart on his feet. Bro.
Yeah, no, they got it. Mum's started her own business now, but he's you know, but it's a blessing. The testosterone. Would I be? I've always actually wanted to do TRT for a long time now because I know what it does for you long term and the rest of your life. Would I have gotten it? I don't know. If it wasn't for my issues, would I have needed it and actually done it if it wasn't for the past? You know, the thought of jabbing myself, would I have considered that? Oh, I don't know if I can do that. You know, all the things that they sort of, now I'm like grateful for them. And I look at life now, as I say, I look at all these books that I read and I like a sort of my religion now I would say is like Buddhist, not because I believe the story because they're all shit, they're all bullshit, but it's just the sayings. If you actually think about the sayings and the way to live life. And it's sort of, I have been spending the last 6 months doing a lot of introspect sort of in my own head and my own body, like with the books I read about my own body language and my own things and learning about my conditions and things like that. And it's actually it's completely changed my life. Like I've lost everything at times. I've lost, and you know, I've made money, lost money, and come back. And I'm at
You've also lost 10 years too. Though.
And
you can't get time back, bro. Fuck friends and fuck your money.
No. But
it's time,
I've lost everything, and I've come back, and I'm in a great spot at the moment, and best spot I've ever been in my life, mentally, physically. Well, not physically, but
yeah, you're still a bit fat, brother.
I'm the only bloke on steroids that's not going to the gym. But you know,
what a good bro. This guy's on TRT.
Yeah,
he could be at the gym getting pumped, but he's
and I'll
not.
be on it for the rest of my life.
My test levels are probably like the bare minimum. His are elevated.
Right, I told you to get self-tested, but he won't. He goes and gets tested.
I've been tested twice. Right, first time I got tested, I went back and they were like, "Yeah, you're a bit low. Let's get tested again." Got tested again, just never went back.
So low in test, he can't even make it to the GP.
That's all right, because I can now bench you, so you're fuck all to me, bro.
Well, you can probably bench me.
I can.
Yeah.
I
used to be the little one. Now I grab my arms around you and I'm like, bro, you're fucking huge.
I'm a fucking
this guy's big. Yeah, well,
Trev's out squatting me now, bro. He hit 150. I've heard it. I've heard the stories.
Oh yeah, good old Sammy Lacho.
Yeah. Says he's got a long way to go though.
Yeah,
for him.
Yeah, he's powerlifting now.
Oh yeah. Oh my god, it's a new thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Fuck powerlifting, but I'm done.
No, don't do that. You blow your back. Get on the steroids and then do it, maybe. But you know, it's I reckon everyone.
You still got that home gym though?
Yeah, you got a door, you got a gym. No,
you got a door, you got a gym. You bought that.
I did. It actually was
it was killer. I remember using it.
It was good. So I reckon every bloke should be on it, man. Every bloke should be on TRT.
I reckon at a certain point.
No. When you're 30 onwards. And even my psychiatrist said he's glad I'm on it. He goes, it's great for your mental health.
Yeah.
He said after 30, as everyone knows, 1% every year you lose.
Yeah.
But that's considering you're not low already.
And with today's diet, like the food.
The hormones in our
the food that we eat.
Estrogen, they pump 100%. Into the fucking chickens.
Yeah. Everyone's probably got low testosterone.
You know, and there's benefits to it. So I've heard that it's so obviously you can't like I just lost the belly fat just by being on the fucking test. It's slowly burnt off. I haven't done anything. and you can't gain
You
or
sure you're not
retain
taking
muscle.
Ozempic, bro?
I'm taking Lizzo. You can't gain or maintain muscle after 40. It's very hard.
You can
Why,
gain muscle.
That's why Jeff Bezos is on the fucking gear, and that's why Joe Rogan is.
They're all on TRT. Yeah.
Exactly, because it's fucking great for you. People get scared because of all the negative stuff they say about steroids and heart problems. There actually is no shred of evidence to say that it causes you heart problems. TRT.
TRT, yeah. That's because you're taking it at a reasonable fucking level.
And you get checked. Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about juice.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not talking about juice you get from mate, because the stuff I get now is crystal clear, white, like pure.
Made in a fucking
No,
lab.
it's pure clear liquid. The stuff I used to get was yellow.
Yeah.
Sometimes brown. And that's just how it comes. It's always like that.
It's because it's boiled in the backyard. All that brown shit's coming off the pan that they're using.
And that's how it is. But now I get absolutely no corking in my leg, no fucking nothing, right? It's clean, good shit from the chemist. Even my doctor goes, no, he goes, don't worry, you want the chemist stuff. You get the good stuff now.
Yeah.
And he's like...
you're on the good shit.
And it's quality. So you'll put half a mil, but it's actually better. So I'm actually getting more probably than the other shit.
Better bang
at
for
half
your
a mil.
buck.
Yeah, because it's proper shit.
Yeah.
So, but every bloke I think should be on it, because the benefits long term as you age are great. They say that people who die of cancer, if you get cancer, if you're someone who's got more muscle mass on you, you're more likely to survive. So if you have TRT and you go into the gym and you can retain muscle as you get older, like talking 50, 60, you probably got a better chance if something like that happens.
100%.
Now, people worry about prostate
Move it or
cancer.
you lose it, bro. It's simple as that.
People worry about prostate cancer. I have that in my family. My dad had that. And I am worried about that because I was worried about, or if I go on the steroids, will I get prostate cancer faster? Because it will grow faster. But the studies have actually showed that no, and my doctors told me, it does not grow your prostate. If you get prostate cancer, then it grows faster. So you need to come off it. That's why you get tested.
Yep.
Make sure you constantly get tested. And easy way is just check your PSA levels and that for prostate cancer. You don't have to get a finger in the bum. He said I don't have to do it
Come
till
on,
I'm 40.
bro. I want the
right?
finger in the bum.
But I'm not going to wait till I'm 40. I'm going to be doing it every year, testing PSA, because I'm on TRT. So, and basically, if you get it, you come off. And then when the cancer goes,
You get back on it.
you can get back on it. As long as you don't have cancer, it does not make you grow your cancer, the testosterone. So you just got to get straight off it. So there's no actual, other than that, there's nothing I've heard. There's no actual risk to anything. The only risk to me is long-term infertility. But if that does happen, you can come off, and there's drugs you can take, like girls do IVF and they jab themselves in the stomach with stuff, and there's things you can do. So, it is what it is. I'd rather be living the way I am now. And if I can't have kids, I can always buy one, so...
Yeah. Just get another dog.
Just buy your one. So it's man, I look at things as a blessing now, man. I love everything I've got.
And
I fucking
that
love
whole
it.
10-year period, there was a few cars thrown in there. So, yeah. Just to,
Oh, we wrapping it up?
No. I'm just letting everyone know,
Yeah, but see, I didn't want to come on here and talk about
Cars.
cars. Because we always talk about cars, man. And cars are fucking cars, right?
I'm just letting people know,
We can do
We
a
had
part 2
cars.
with cars, but it's,
Nah.
I've had hundreds of cars.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of money on cars. What is it? Last year I built a drift car, spent 75 grand, sold it for 20.
It was a sick car. It was down
It's a
at
fucking animal, man.
It was down at Collie for
Was it?
Matsuri. He was going hard.
600 horsepower, RB25, drift car, no expense spared. Probably could have been better, but
Yeah, I mean, it was a
but
home job.
spent it, built it in a week with Justin,
It was sick.
and then we just didn't go enough. And every time we went to the track, we private hired, and it was with me, E85 fuel, frying tires for 2 hours, private hire.
It's expensive. It's
Trailer hire.
It's like $1,000.
No, it was about
$1,200.
1,500 for
Yeah.
me every time we went. And I just was like, it's not like we were going all the time, but that's what made it worse. So we weren't going all the time. And then when we did go, it cost that much. And then inflation happened, and I was like, I
Can't do it.
can't be bothered anymore.
Yeah.
I just can't be bothered. It's such a trek. It was an all-day thing just to go for 2 hours.
It was
Pick a trailer up and all
It was
that.
a big event. It was a big thing.
So I just sold it, and I just took a loss.
Yeah.
And that was the last time I'm ever going to do it. I miss it, but I'm not going to. I don't actually miss it that much. I go on Danzy's car. It's fun. I get my half hour. It's great. And then I'm just like, bro, I'm good to go home, you know? So
that's what I mean. Like, ever since I've known you 17, you got me into Sylvia's. And we've been on and off cars since 17. So, well, you have really. Like, you had your S13, your 180, you had the 32.
Bro, I've had like...
Yeah.
I've probably had like 10 S13 and 180s.
Yeah.
Including the ones I just...
Scrapped
for stuff.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of cars.
Yeah, so... thank this motherfucker for the reason why I'm broke.
Hang on. I've told him to sell 2 of his cars in the garage, and he's like, "No, I'm not doing that."
Okay, listen. Let's be realistic, right?
Well,
if I sell the Beamer, okay, it's got an LS in it. Everything's done. I bought that thing for $15K. Fuck all. I could sell it. I could probably get 15, 20 grand if I strip it for parts and all that shit. Now, in the future, when I am a bit more financially stable,
you're not going to use it. You don't
and
have time now.
And I do want to fucking go drifting.
You don't have time.
Then I'm going to
now.
have to fucking spend 40, 50 grand on a car.
It's not going to happen.
I don't have time now because of a fucking 2-year-old who's got NF and he's a crazy little cunt.
These people that think that life's going to get easier.
No, when Tom goes to school, bro,
No,
I won't have to worry about shit.
That's going to cost more, so you're going to be working more.
Wow, no, No. Sean will be working, bro. She'll be getting her fucking arms back to the
You'll accidentally
She'll
have
be
another
getting
one.
back. Nah, bro. I'm going back to my old ways, pull out king.
Anyway, is that everything?
I don't know. You're telling the story.
I got a question for you, man. So, knowing everything that you know now, if someone was in your position, let's say 5-10 years ago, going through some of the shit that you have, or part of the things you've been through, ish, or similar, let's say, because nothing ever would be the same. What would you say to someone who's going through that stuff mentally to try, like, because I think your turning point is when your parents sort of helped you get professional help and you tried a bunch of things and eventually found something that worked. But it took a while for you to get to that point.
They did, but it's more, I kept saying, like, I can't do this anymore, but I don't want to give up.
Yep.
My thing that people always say is, one, don't kill yourself. You're going to die anyway. Just wait till it happens, right? Until then, just keep going. Bro, you know, you never get to do this again, ever. And it's going to go quicker than you think. And that's the way I look at things now. Like, man, every day I wake up and I am just, every day's fucking amazing. Because when you lose for a sustained period of time, not just like people that have a near-death experience, and they're like, oh, I'm never going to take life for granted again. When you lose your freedom, like I actually do feel like I've come out of jail, but worse. I went to Fremantle for the first time in 10 years when the medication kicked in. Right. I couldn't believe what it's changed in 10 years. I've been there in 10 years and I used to be there all the time. I worked in Freo, the nightclubs and that. Me and Daniel walked around every nightclub, every venue, walked through, and I looked like people looking at me like weird. Bro, there was a line at a yogurt place that I thought was Metro's Freo, and then he goes, I said, what's this place?
Yogurt,
and it was packed in there, 40-meter line out the front, and he goes, that's a yogurt place. I go, what? And I was going, and everyone's looking at me because I'm saying this out loud. I'm going, what the fuck? Yogurt? Who the fuck's lining up to get yogurt? And he goes, bro, it's a big thing. Fucking, what it's called?
Frozen
Yochi
yogurt.
or some shit.
Some shit like that,
And I was like, and I looked at Metros, there's no line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
We used to be in the line for Metros for fucking
Bro, I was
ages.
just spinning out, man. And then I went to Gino's, which we used to go to all the time and get a coffee, and the same blokes working there. They were just grey hair. But it was the biggest wake-up call that night. That was, I went home to my parents. I was like, I just can't believe it. It took me a couple of days to get over it, like the shock of it. And after you lose your freedom for a sustained period of time, you will never forget that. And you will never take it for granted again. I will never take it for granted again. I had one wish before. Not to win lotto, not to do any amazing thing. I'd love wife, kids, all that stuff, girl of your dreams, money, all this. My one wish was have a life. And I got that wish. And it's sort of, anything now is fucking bonus. Like, I'm happy to just do what I'm doing now. No kids, no wife, socialise, and just live out my days. Like, that's cool. Whatever comes my way, I'm happy. Like, every day's a blessing. Like, you just, yeah, man, it's a fucking ride. And like now, one of the things my mentor told me to do is just seek people out. So every time I see someone on the side of the road, I give them help. I've done it heaps lately. There was a guy with a boat.
He ended up being someone you knew anyway.
Yeah, the guy with a boat,
Crazy.
15-foot boat or something on a trailer, dragged it into a petrol station because one of the rear wheels was rolling on the axle because the bearing shit itself and the hub and the wheel come off. I wasn't going to stop. He was on the phone. I went home and grabbed a car jack because that's where it was. I thought, you know what, I'll go back anyway. He's probably going to have mates there or a tow truck. Went back. He wasn't there. He was next door at a mechanic place. And he's still on the phone. And I went, hey, you need a hand? And he turns around. It's a bloke I went to school with. I hadn't seen him in so long. And I was like, bro. And I said, you got anyone give you a hand? He goes, nah, man. And he went to the mechanic shop, told him to fuck off. They wouldn't even lend him a jack. And he needed a proper car jack to lift this thing off the floor. I said, let's do it. Let's fucking do it. It took 2.5 hours of getting parts and fixing this thing in a petrol station. Then a few days later, 5:30 in the morning, I drove past, on my way to work, I drove past a girl who didn't look that bad. She was a normal person looking, with bags sitting on a footpath. Thought she was waiting for someone to get picked up. 7 o'clock, I drove back past to drop a trailer off at a hire company. And she'd moved further up the road in front of my grandparents' house, sitting there still. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I wasn't going to stop because I had like this long-ass trailer. But I thought, you know what? No, we're going to stop. So I whipped around and I said, you need a lift. And she goes, you know, it's weird because people don't want to take lifts these days. And I said, you need help. You need a lift. And she goes, yeah, I do. And she had tears in her eyes. And I said, and she looked like she was lower class, like drugs and things like that. But I said, no worries. I said, where do you want to go? And she said, I don't even know where I am. She says, I just need to get to a train station or a bus or something. And I was like, no worries. We'll do that. I said, get in. So I went around, opened the door for her. She jumped in with all her bags. And then helped her put her phone on charge because she had no power in her phone. And then I said, oh, big, rough day, eh? And she goes, sort of started crying. And she goes, yeah. She just found out her partner every year has been cheating on her. And she didn't even know where she was from Malaga. She said, I don't even know where I am. And I got no money. She just left. We've been arguing all night. So I said, all right, we'll take you and let's go. And I dropped the trailer off on the way. Then I said, you had breakfast. You want something to eat? So then I went and got her a coffee and whatever she wanted and dropped her off at the train station in Freo. And then I was leaving and I drove off and I got about 10 minutes away and I thought, you know what? How the fuck's she going to get to? She didn't even know she's got no money. How's she going to get to Malaga? I thought, nah, I got time. So I went back, went into the train station, found her, tapped her on the shoulder and she spun out. She was like, what the fuck? And I said, Lisa, because she told me her name. I said, Lisa, let's go. And she goes, oh my God. My friends aren't going to believe this. And I put her in the car and I said, where do you want to go? And she said, I actually need to go to Mirrabooka now, to her brother-in-law's house. Took her to Mirrabooka. I learnt more about her and her story on the way to Mirrabooka. And man, she had a hard life with people dying around her. One of her kids dying when she was by herself, giving birth. She'd been on the drugs. She's trying to get off. You know, but I learnt her story and people got a hard life. You know, you think got a hard life, you see someone rolling down the street with a wheelchair, driving it with their mouth, you know, and they're getting out and about. And I'm in my house, can't leave. And that would piss me off, you know. And then just fucking yesterday, day before, I'm on Roe Highway and I see a Range Rover with some girl squatting near a tyre. She looked all right, but that's not why I stopped. I quickly just stopped, pulled in the lane because it's Roe Highway, dangerous as. And I could see her tyre was fucked. And I come up and I said, what are we doing? We doing it? Like, and she goes, I don't know what happened. And her tyre, she'd blown the whole tyre off the rim, man. Like both sidewalls, inside and out, gone.
Yeah, because she'd been driving on it for 45 minutes.
And she said she just heard a weird noise.
Yeah.
And then quickly pulled over. Like I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah,
I don't even know how she did it.
Weird noise had been going on for 45 minutes.
I don't know how she did it. Anyway, she was stunning. Black hair, blue eyes, stunning. And she says, first thing she says is, yeah. I said, well, what are you going to do? And she goes,
sorry, I've got a boyfriend.
No, she said, well, my boyfriend's, I was just called my boyfriend, he's in Cottesloe.
See ya.
He's in Cottesloe. And he's like, oh, I can't come there. I'm in Cottesloe, I'm all the way in Cottesloe. I said, don't worry about it. I'll do it. You got a spare? And I grabbed the spare out and I changed the tyre. And then I offered her, because she was a bit like concerned about driving on that spare tyre. I said, well, don't go over 80 Ks, but if you want, I was trying to be helpful. I said, if you want, we'll chuck the tyre in my car. We'll go to Bibra Lake, just down the road to a mate's workshop. We'll get the tyre replaced. I was even going to pay for it. And then I'll put it back on. And she goes, oh, hang on, I'll just check my boyfriend because I think our mate's a mechanic or whatever. And she calls him and whatever. And then she got out of there pretty quick after I changed it. So I think she was feeling a bit like weird, or he was probably telling her because she was messaging flat out.
Don't get into a car with a fucking stranger.
But we had a good conversation. I was asking her about what she does for work and things like that, and it was a good conversation. I think it was her boyfriend was messaging her like, "What are you doing with this?" You know, because he heard me talking to her. So,
as he should.
but she was a nice girl. But I was just trying to help her. I just so I did, and it makes you feel good when you help people. It makes you feel good when you compliment people. Everywhere I go now, I compliment people. I just give people compliments. And if they don't take it the right way, some people take it the wrong way because you could say something to a girl, she takes it the wrong way because her childhood growing up has been a certain way. So she takes offense. She thinks you're a pervert, or she thinks you're coming onto her, or she thinks you're some weird person or attacking her because she's had a childhood where men have been dangerous to her. You can have someone who hasn't had a childhood like that and they take the compliment like, oh my God, thank you. You've just made my day. And all you're saying is, well, you got amazing eyes. And you say, have a good day, and you walk off. I'm not there going, can I have your number? Like, it's just doing that, walking off. And I do it to blokes too. Like, I'll say, you got a big dick. No, you know, can I touch it? No.
Put it in my mouth.
I'll say, you know, like, fucking this guy, you fucking jacked, or, you know, and just small things like that. And guys start laughing, bro. Everywhere I go, I'm making people laugh. Bunnings, I have combos with everyone, and this is why
you got 10 years of catching up, mate.
Yeah. But I've got good charisma and that, and I don't see why there's any point being angry at people or holding grudges or all this shit now. Like, bro, it's living is so amazing. Like, just have fun, just be happy, just
time to let shit go, eh?
Like what?
I don't know. I'm just saying, time to let shit go. You're saying no.
I don't have
regrets,
anything I haven't let go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even now, I actually know what I'm going to do next year.
Nice.
I know what I'm going to do. I haven't told anyone. I always have a plan. I just didn't know.
It's been 3 weeks, bro. Just chill. Just chill.
I just I haven't said anything to anyone yet because that's the way it works. I'll wait. But I know what I do, and I think I was born to do it. And it goes with the fact that I'm good at like talking to people and all this, and buying and selling and contracts and all this sort of stuff. So it's sort of that being able to just go up and talk to anyone thing and be able to start a conversation and make people feel great is what it's about. And
you know
when
those
I
people
changed
that
doing that,
spin the signs,
yeah,
that's gonna be you.
Free wash, free car wash, free coffee.
They can go up and talk to anyone. Woo. Free coupon.
You would not understand how amazing it makes you feel when you just make other people feel amazing. And it sounds gay and it sounds like this stupid thing that people talk about and do, but
yeah, you're a fucking
I have a mate who I just dropped in on, and he's got issues as well. His dad right now, he just found out this week he's got terminal cancer.
Yeah.
Hasn't had the best time with his dad. But, you know, he's taking the time now and doesn't know how long it's going to be. And he's had a hard life with a lot of people dying around him. Very hard life. So he's quite angry. Gets angry at people. You know, I talk about Donald Trump or something. He goes, I fucking hate that cunt. Like, I fucking hate him. Or Elon Musk goes, oh, he's a fucking weird cunt. He's angry. He doesn't like him. And I was thinking about it today. No, he's got his reasons. But like I said to him, and he's actually taken some of this on board, he said, but I actually still needed to say some other things to him. Like, man, it's like that old story where if you get up in the morning and you can relate to this because you got a fucking kid. You get up in the morning, you walk outside to go to work. You trip over Tommy's toy. You get pissed off.
You got two choices.
You get pissed off. You turn around and you fucking yell at Tommy. Yeah. Shauna gets pissed off and starts yelling at you. So you have half an hour argument. Then you go to work. Now you're late. You crash your car into someone. Yeah. Now you got to deal with that shit. Then you get to work late. Your boss is pissed off at you. All this shit happens. And then you have a shit day. Then you come back and you still got to deal with your wife.
Yeah.
Right? Or you trip over the toy.
You brush it off.
You go, almost fell over. What a dumb cunt. And then you just move the toy. You just move the toy. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And now you have a great day. You know what I mean? And that's what I do now. I do that now. And I think he should do that. And I'm trying to do that. Like Elon Musk says, bro, I don't care if you like him, you hate him. Bro, he just landed that fucking rocket. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, I love Donald Trump. I actually think his personality is fucking hilarious. And I love what he does.
He's a fucking comedian, bro. He's awesome.
Yeah, everyone's saying that now, but I've been day one.
Yeah,
right?
he's been like that
I've
for
been his
ages,
day
bro.
one, right? And his policies and all that, I'm with him. Always have been. But if you don't like him,
Why do you get so
bro,
angry about it?
if you don't like him, who cares? Like, actually look at the policies and go, you know what? I don't like him, but his policies are good. If you don't like his policies, I don't like him. Don't let it get to you where you're so fucking angry like these people in America that like you're just so fucking angry that you all day you're just all you're doing is torturing yourself every fucking day. And I did this, man. I tortured myself every day, especially the last 10 years. I was so angry and frustrated. I'd hate people. People pissed me off. And if someone pissed me off the whole day, I would just keep thinking about the same thing. It's part of overanalyzing and that. And I'd have a conversation in my head. I should have said this. And I'd act it out in my head over and over again. And,
It's so hard just to let go away.
yeah. And it would sometimes take me a few
days.
days. And I just keep thinking about this dumb thing. I shouldn't have said that. Fucking embarrassed myself.
What if it went like this? What if I thought this? What
exactly.
If it,
Bro, I don't do that now.
Scenarios in your head.
And now
bro.
even more than ever, I just say whatever I want. I'm not as brutal. I try and be nice to people because I see other people's side of it. But I just say whatever I want.
That's called empathy, brother.
Nah, I just you don't need to.
Yeah, you saying you see the other side of it. That's empathy. You see.
No, I just. I don't know if it is or whatever it is. If it is, it is. But
it's called growing up, bro.
Nah, it's only changed since I've been on the medication, man.
Yeah.
My moods have been so level, and everything that's happened, and also reading these books has really helped. Like,
Well, lucky for you that you can read.
I can't actually. I listen to ebooks. I can't, man. I can't. Listen
You're a
to books.
liar.
I can't listen
You're
to
a
books,
fucking
bro. I
liar.
can't even read Cat in the Hat to my nephew who's 6 months.
Cat and Hat's fucking
I
hard,
stumble
bro.
on words, and my sister laughs at me,
Yeah.
and it's fucking terrible.
I can't even read 3-month-old books, Tommy Bag. I can't read for shit. So
Like,
I'm
hey,
not-
Alexa, read Cat in the Hat. Done.
Have you tried reading the Dr. Zeus books?
Have you gone,
Fuck
Alexa,
that.
say ha, and she'll go.
I don't have an iPhone.
You say hey Che, and she'll go. And she'll start moaning. Fucking hilarious,
Weird.
man. Fucking hilarious.
Oh,
But that look, I don't know.
oh shit!
How long have you been going for?
2.5 hours. We better. What do you reckon? Wrap this up soon or what? How much more you
I
got
don't know.
in the
Has
tank,
it
bro?
been an interesting one? I feel like I've been kind of
Nah,
boring,
you're fucking
but-
boring as shit.
Look, well, listen. I was going to come in with a lot of energy and that, but I
But I
You
had
did.
to work
I
like
did have to
everyone else.
not for long. I don't do it much. I'm blessed to have worked when I was young and
Yeah.
done what I've done and made the right moves. And,
Here you are.
you know,
Let's wrap this up because I've got work tomorrow.
one bit of advice I'll give to anyone in business, and there's people I know out there who I see doing the exact same thing as they were always doing and they're going to get nowhere, is
Don't look at me like I wasn't going to say shit. cunt.
is ask questions. Or everyone looks at people and goes, "Oh, he's got a Ferrari. Oh, fucking dog. Well, this cunt, rich cunt, fucking all that." I hear it. I even hear it the other day. I said to someone, "Oh, you know, what's his name from inside the business?" I was taking some desserts to this guy, the owner, just to have a yarn with him because I've known him for years. And I said, "Oh, you know him?" Because he come out and he goes, "Yeah, rich cunt." At that moment, I knew he didn't know him. You go, yeah. I was like, that's not how you talk about him if you knew him. You just think he's rich because he owns this business. You don't even know the bloke. He's the most humble, nice guy. That's what I would say, bro. He's the nicest bloke, isn't he? You know? And what I'd say is ask questions, man. There's people out there that try and be the man. They act the man. And they get nowhere because you're never asking questions. If you act like you know everything, I don't need to know. Oh, I'm already there. I'm rich. I'm this. I'm that. Bro, you're never going to get anywhere because you'll keep bluffing. If you ask questions, that is how you learn and people will like you for it and that the mentors will pull you up and help you, and that's what they've done with me all my life. And I see it now in kids. Like I've got one kid that I've seen at a mate's shop who he hasn't even recognised, but I see this kid watching when we're talking. This kid's watching us out of the corner of his eye, listening to the conversation, and he's very attentive, paying attention. He's always interested in watching us and what we're doing in that. And I see he's got something. He doesn't even know he's probably got it. I'm going to ask him what he wants to do with his life and then tell the owner that he should pay more attention to him because, certain people have it, certain people don't.
Yep.
Certain people could have it, Justin, if they fucking pull their finger out. And I've tried to help him. I've tried to give it to him on a silver platter, but he just doesn't want to do it.
What are you fucking talking about? I'm getting it, cuz.
So, that's the business. I would say that. Stop trying to... Bro, there's people that we know who have done it. And it's all come crashing down. They've just got nowhere. And
Well, they're just in the same fucking spot, man.
And nothing will ever change.
Nothing will change. They'll just...
And you know what? They've still got
got
the same mentality now.
Yeah.
And I've got a different mentality right now. I'm asking questions. The new thing I want to do, I went and spoke to someone about it. They said they're going to talk to someone they know who's higher up. They're going to call me. I said, listen, I don't know a fucking thing about it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I thought about researching and learning, but I thought I don't want to yet because I want to learn the right way and the right stuff. And they said, don't. We'll teach you. You don't need to know nothing. We'll teach you. Someone will give you a call. And, that's how you learn. Saying, I don't know shit. I don't know anything. I'm not a know-it-all. I don't know anything. And people actually like you for it more.
100%.
And people actually...
No one likes a fucking bullshit artist,
people who are
bro.
way up there will pull you up and they will single you out, which they have with me all my life, all my mentors, and they will... Bro, I've had some that have been there for years. This one that has helped me now. Bro, if he asked me to bury a body for him, I'd bury it. Like, he is my undying loyalty. And he's just always been there for me out of the blue, just calls me and shit like that for, like, mental health and that. And I always knew he'd be a part of the next stage of my life. I just met him through work. I did a job for him. And then after that, man, you got to come down and check his place out, bro.
Yeah, well, who is this mystery man?
Bro, I'm not going to tell you his name. If you want to, go to Supercar Museum, I think it is, Facebook page, Perth. He collects V8 supercars, vintage cars. He's got fucking planes hanging from his roof. I'm about to buy a helicopter for him, and we're about to hang a helicopter from the fucking roof. He's got fucking race bikes signed by Valentino Rossi, Marc Marquez, hundreds of helmets, electric guitars signed by rock stars, hundreds of them, like race suits, everything, man. Everything you can think of is just in this package. If someone walked in there like I did the first day, you'd fucking lose your mind. 2 alarm systems on there, fucking cameras,
Everything.
chains on all the windows, and yeah, man, it's you got to come down and have a look at this place, man.
Yeah, well, you're a piece of shit for not inviting me sooner.
Well,
bro.
you embarrass me, so I don't bring you down.
You embarrass me. Vice versa.
Yeah,
mate.
well, I don't know how embarrassed you when we go to your shitty places, but
My shitty places.
the places I can't embarrass you at. They're already embarrassing. No, it's mate, it's good. Life's good.
That's good.
You can't. You know what? Unless you live through it, you won't know. And part of that is fucking just doing whatever you want. Making mistakes.
Life's short.
Don't make the mistakes that are going to cost you 10 years in jail and things like that. But fuck, man, life's just about fucking up. And yeah, that's all I've got to say. Mic drop.
There you go. Is there anyone you want to thank? Big shout out to Ron, your old man.
Oh, shout out to Ron, my dad.
He's a good cunt. I love
Shout
that.
out to
When Ron talks, you shut up and listen. Like he's that.
Oh no!
For me, it is. Every time I talk to your old
Sometimes
man,
I'm
he's
going.
got something to fucking say.
Yeah, he's got something to say. Like me, I always got something to say.
Yeah,
Look,
Before you get
shout out to him. Shout out to Andy Brown, my mentor, my main mentor. If he does end up listening to this, he can't listen to a fucking ebook.
Yeah,
So he wanted to listen, but I doubt he will.
Hopefully he doesn't
If you-
listen, because
if
if he
you do
does, then
and
he'll
you're
be like,
still
I don't want you
listening-
hanging around with this
If
bloke.
you're still listening to the end of this, Andy, you're a fucking legend.
There you
And
go.
if Marty, who I was working with today, if you end up listening, hey Marty,
Cheers for tuning in, the 2 listeners.
that's it. That's all I can add to this small podcast.
Small. Wow. We just cracked 2,500 downloads. Cheers, babes.
Yeah, over how many years?
One
Year
and a
and a
half
half.
seasons.
Yes.
That's not bad.
What's the season?
I don't know.
Anyway, and I
figure.
will say, Justin, my day one, I actually couldn't even do a best man speech at his wedding, which is embarrassing. That was one thing I'll never live down.
Oh,
And I got him and Shauna together.
I was too drunk to remember.
You said something, I yelled out from the back of the crowd.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And everyone looked at me like, who's this random fuck?
Yeah.
You're drunk.
I was
Also, I tell people, I don't drink. Haven't drunk in 4 years, alcohol. Don't want to do that. I'm bipolar. And life's better for that too.
Yeah, drink. Put
Dude,
down the
a lot of
drink.
people tell
There's
me
no
they don't drink
fucking-
these
oh.
days. Don't do it. It's a
It's
waste
not
of
even
time.
worth it.
It's a waste of time.
Drinking.
Well, you will not miss it. I can't get over coffee, and that used to give me anxiety, and I would still fucking do it and have panic attacks. So that's hard. But drinking, it's actually easy.
Yeah.
That I don't do that.
drinking.
Drugs, sugar, soft drink, fucking anything, man.
You do heaps of
Life's
sugar.
better.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I don't.
I'll send you. Yeah.
Today I had to because there was nothing. There was no water. around, but- No, I don't. I try not to.
Yeah, no. It's in everything. All right, let's wrap it up because I got fucking work tomorrow. So
Do ya? Oh, sucks, bro.
Sucks to be you, man.
you got to do what you got to do when you're a family man. You know.
Yeah,
You gotta
hopefully
hustle.
you'll end up getting that time to drift that car. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Can I just say what I was going to start off with when I came on here? Bro, what the fuck is up with Fast and the Furious? Bro, Fast and the Furious, you want to talk about cars? Fast and the Furious 1, who the fuck is tuning their car while they're racing with a laptop?
Yeah. I mean, that's the movie, bro.
Bro, they
was-
should have ended
he
Fast
was-
and Furious after the first movie.
He was tuning
the
his
fact that
nos
they're
in, bro.
saving the world with cars in Fast 10,
I haven't
jumping
watched
from
Fast
one
5.
building to another. I hadn't even watched it. I'd just seen the commercial. But fuck me, man. Stop it.
They're doing it for Paul Walker, bro. Rest
Stop
in peace.
it.
Oh, fuck, man. Here we
Bro, at
go.
least he did something in real life, that cunt.
Oh wait. Oh, there's a funny one. There's a funny joke. Paul Walker. It's like, how did you know that Paul Walker had dandruff? There was Head and Shoulders in the glove box.
Ooh.
God damn it.
How's that not funny? Don't ooh me, Mr. Bipolar over here.
Mate,
It's a joke. I didn't
it.
come up with it.
I love it. I don't give a fuck. People's feelings, bro.
Yeah, I don't give
Get
a fuck.
over it.
It's a joke. Comedy.
Mate, have a laugh. We'll all be dead soon.
Yep.
And as Ricky Gervais said, there's no sequel.
No.
No.
All right. Fuck, that's it.
Bro, I got a long drive home, so fuck off.
Yeah. You fuck off. This is my house.
Thanks for joining, man.
Catch us.
Appreciate
No
it.
worries.
Cheers.